Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
It has been said that there is a wild beast whose entire body is made of melt in your mouth. Snowflake-like meat. There is also a type of lobster with firm flesh. And trees that grow king crab meat year-round. A spring that continuously gushes forth high-quality, fragrant amber-colored brandy. This unknown delicacy is intoxicating. This is a culinary era in search of unknown delicacies. A group of adventurers emerged who were not afraid of danger and dared to fight wild beasts. Whether it was to pursue delicious food or to obtain high rewards. They were respectfully called food hunters. Food hunters are pioneers of the culinary era. They traverse the dense shade of forests, climb the rugged peaks, and even venture into the unknown depths of the ocean, all in search of the rare delicacies hidden in the corners of the world. Qianyi also became one of the many food hunters. Qianyi male is a transmigrator from Earth. I was 15 years old when I first transmigrated here. And now I'm 16, I've been in this world for a year. Like many transmigrators in novels, he physically transmigrated to this world and obtained a system, the gourmet system. The system's function is very simple. It generates a task based on Qianyi's strength, interpersonal relationships, and current environment. You can accept a maximum of 1 task per week, with no time limits, and you will receive a corresponding reward upon completion. In the past year, Qianyi has completed a total of 46 tasks. Host Qianyi food points, 580 cell grade 30. Cellular demon, none available. Cooking skill level, proficient reputation, 1560. Task Yukahira restaurant request, completed and awaiting delivery. Talent abilities, basic culinary skills. Intermediate acupressure culinary weapon, chopsticks. This is Qianyi's current attribute panel, food points. Items used to redeem items in the system shop can be obtained by completing tasks. Cell level, the growth level of gourmet cells. Qianyi didn't have any gourmet cells before she transmigrated. She only fused with them after obtaining the system. It is directly linked to the capture level of the beast. Qianyi's cell level is currently 30, which means that he can capture beasts of level 30 or higher at most. This is just a rough estimate, not an absolute value. The level at which you can capture a ferocious beast is also affected by other factors. Upgrading your cell level is simple, just keep eating high-quality ingredients, especially top-tier ingredients you've never tasted before, as they can significantly boost your cell level. Cellular demon. Only those with gourmet cells can potentially possess a gourmet cell demon. Qianyi is a transmigrator, and even his gourmet cells are only temporarily fused. He has not yet obtained a gourmet cell demon. Cooking skill level. The system believes that a good food hunter must have a good understanding of cooking. Of the 46 tasks Qianyi completed, 20 were related to improving his cooking skills. There are several levels of culinary skill. From lowest to highest, novice, beginner, proficient, master, and divine chef. It takes considerable difficulty to move beyond mastery and then advance to the next level. Qianyi was at this level 6 months ago. But 6 months later, he is still stuck in the same place. Qianyi now possesses a fairly high level of culinary skill. But there is still a significant gap between her and the top chefs on the world's culinary rankings. Prestige, the higher the reputation value, the greater the influence. Although Qianyi's influence can't compare to that of a top-tier gourmet hunter like Toriko, he's still quite well known in the gourmet hunter community. People know that there's such a person when his name is mentioned. The fact that he has gained such fame in just 1 year is not only due to the system, but also to Qianyi's hard work as a time traveler. He understands better than anyone how important strength is in a world where the strong are respected. Innate abilities. Qianyi's current abilities can be learned with a very small probability by completing tasks, or they can be obtained from the shop. Talent ability is also divided into 5 levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, master, and supreme. Food technique weapons. Those with gourmet cells possess a unique ability to transform their body's energy into various weapons to fight enemies. Common items include knives, forks, spoons, sticks, cutting boards, freeing pansek. Among the many food-related weapons, Qianyi chose chopsticks, a type of tableware originating from Daxia, currently. Qianyi knows that the only person who uses chopsticks as a weapon is Ikario, the president of IGO. The cultivation of food-based weapons is a long process, and there is still a long way to go to reach the level of Yilong. Task: simply complete the task as required. The mission is to help the Yukahira restaurant capture a Shackleton. Shaker Nortona level 4 capture beast, a pterosaur that inhabits mountainous areas or cliff caves. It is a high-end ingredient with a retail price of up to 60.0 yen per kilogram depending on the cut of meat used. Besides the meat, its bones can also be used to make a very rich and delicious broth. Yukahira Restaurant is a small restaurant run by Yukahira Joachiro and his son Yukahira Soma. They should be characters from the world of Food Wars, but they appear in Toriko at first. Qianyi found it very strange, but later he realized that it was a world made up of multiple anime. The world setting remains primarily based on the Captive Eater universe. Igath Gourmet Club, the human world, and the gourmet world remain unchanged. Only some characters from other worlds have been added. Besides the mainstream gourmet hunter chefs and regenerators in the food frenzy world, there are also ninjas from a mysterious village, naval lords, and shrine maidens from a remote mountain village. Regardless, this world remains a food-centric era focused on exploring unknown delicacies. Capturing a level 4 Shaker Norton poses no threat to Qianyi at present. The process of searching is more challenging than capturing, because this creature prefers to operate at dusk and night, and sleeps in caves on cliffs during the day. It is quite difficult to find. Qianyi was lucky this time. He randomly entered a cave on a cliff and found this Shaker Norton. Easily capture it and press the pressure points. Qianyi carried the more than 1-ton Shaker Reynolds and sped back on the road. Around noons, Qianyi appeared on an old commercial street in Tokyo. As soon as they entered the commercial street, a middle-aged man who was unloading ingredients from a delivery truck saw Qianyi. Wow, what a huge Shaker Renatin. Aye, did you just capture it? Sell it to me. I'll buy it for 100,000 yen per kilogram, how about it? The middle-aged man hurriedly put down the goods in his hands and came to Qianyi and said, Uncle Tokugawa, I'm so sorry, but this was captured on my behalf by Yukahira Restaurant, so I can't sell it to you, Chihiro said apologetically. Oh, I see. Then you must let me know in advance if you have any good goods next time. Definitely, Uncle Tokugawa, you go ahead with your work. After Qianyi finished speaking politely, she carried Shackleton and continued walking towards the direction of Yukahira Restaurant. Passing by a general store, a woman nearing 40 years old watched Qianyi walk by and couldn't help but exclaim, Qianyi, you've captured another ferocious beast. That's amazing. If my brat had half your abilities, I'd be laughing in my sleep. Aunt Kyun, please don't say that. I believe your son will definitely become an excellent food hunter. Ah, you're back so soon. I thought you'd be back for at least several days to finish this job. Grandpa and now we were lucky this time. We found it without much effort. It was the busiest time of day on the commercial street. As the most famous restaurant on this commercial street, Yukahira Restaurant is always packed with customers. Qianyi carried Shackleton directly into Yukahira Restaurant, immediately attracting the attention of the diners. Hey, it's the gourmet hunter Qianyi. Wow, he captured a level 4 Shaker Norton this time. That's a very high-grade ingredient. I heard he's only 16. To be able to capture such a dangerous beast on his own, his future is limitless. This beast was an ingredient requested by Yukahira Restaurant. Right, hey Joachiro. The ingredients you requested have arrived. Someone shouted this towards the kitchen. And a moment later, a middle-aged man in a chef's uniform with a beard came out. This man is Joachiro Yukihira, the owner and head chef of this restaurant. When Yukihira Joachiro saw Chihiro and the beast on his shoulder, he was surprised, but then walked up to him with an expression of admiration. "Good lad, you really surprise me. You managed to capture such a large shaker Norton all by yourself, and delivered it so quickly. I thought it would take you several days." Qianyi smiled and replied, "Uncle Qianyi, luck is also part of strength if you're lucky. You'll catch it tilde, shall I just deliver it to your kitchen?" "Ah, the kitchen can't handle something this big. Has it been anesthetized using pressure points?" "Yes, there are still 4 hours left in the anesthesia period. Remember to deal with it quickly. Otherwise it will be a big headache if this big guy gets away." Many diners were seeing such a large Shackleton for the first time and curiously gathered around. "Qianyi, you are truly amazing. My son is also a gourmet hunter, but he is 3 years older than you and is not as good as you." A middle-aged man said with admiration, "Qianyi, you're only 16 years old and you're already so amazing." "How did you do it?" a young woman asked. Most of these diners are office workers living near the commercial street, and they have all heard of Qianyi's name, a rising star among food hunters who emerged in just 1 year. Qianyi became a capable food hunter at the young age of 16. Igo's Food News even had a special column dedicated to her. From that time on, Qianyi's fame spread far and wide. Even after becoming famous, Qianyi remained humble and neither arrogant nor servile, living a simple yet fulfilling life. Faced with questions from several diners, Qianyi thought for a moment, then smiled and replied, "There's no special trick. Just stay true to your original intention. Always be grateful for the ingredients and appreciate the bounty of nature, that's enough. I can't exactly tell you that I'm a time traveler with a cheat code. Can I? Is it really that simple?" The diners did not understand the meaning of these words. Of course, Qianyi didn't make things up. Thank you for all things is the foundation of food righteousness. At this moment, Yukihira Joachiro interjected, "All right. Everyone disperse. Cha has been carrying such a heavy beast for a long time, which is exhausting. Let him rest for a bit. The ingredients have been delivered. I'll take care of the rest." The diners reluctantly dispersed and returned to their seats. Yukihira Joachiro then led Cha to the backyard. After handing the ingredients to Joachiro, a system notification sounded in his mind, ding. "Congratulations on completing the task Yukihira Restaurant's request. Host food points plus 20, reputation points plus 10. Ding, this week's tasks are complete. New tasks will be refreshed next Monday, please check back." This kind of task is not difficult for Qianyi now, so the reward for completing it is also relatively low. However, the main purpose of this mission was not the system's reward, but to help Yukihira Restaurant. The people on this commercial street are all very kind, but the ones who helped Che the most were Yukihira and his son. On the first day of his transmigration, Che had nowhere to go during his most difficult time. It was Yukihira Joachiro who took him in and cared for him for a period of time. Chihiro never forgot this kindness, and he would do it immediately whenever Yukihira Joachiro asked him for a favor. "You've worked hard, just leave it here. Qianyi, go outside and rest. I'll let you try my specialty dish later," said Yukihira Joachiro, rolling up his sleeves. Seeing that Yukihira Joachiro was about to show off his skills, Chihiro said, "Well, I don't need any special dishes. I just hope the taste is normal." Joachiro Yukihira's culinary skills are undeniable. Even within the world of food, prisoners they are top-notch. However, has a penchant for creating bizarre dishes, occasionally serving up a few incredibly difficult-to-eat meals that would make anyone faint. Qianyi was lucky enough to eat his bizarre dish once, honey squid tentacles. "I swear this is the worst food I've ever eaten, bar none." "Hell losses." Yukihira Joachiro chuckled awkwardly a few times, then said, "Oh, I'll transfer the commission to your account tonight." "Whatever at first." Qianyi intended not to charge any fees for Yukihira Joakiro's request in order to repay his kindness. But she couldn't persuade Joakiro otherwise and had to reluctantly accept it. When Qianyi arrived at the restaurant, she found an empty seat in the corner. He sat down, took out his phone and opened an app called IGO Chat. This is a chat and dating app promoted by IGO, which has become popular all over the world and is used by almost everyone. It is similar to WeChat in the original world of Qianyi. Upon entering the software, I saw several unread messages, all from the same person. A cat who loves cooking. What kind of great and aloof gourmet hunter are you doing? The cat who loves cooking. Why are you ignoring me? Did you accept another commission? The cat who loves cooking. If you ignore me again, I'm going to get angry. The cat who loves to eat cooking is actually named Kobayashi Rindu. He is 2 years older than Che and is a student of the 90th class of Tatsuki Academy. He is currently the second seat of the Tatsuki Elite 10 Council. Qianyi and Kobayashi Rindu met a year ago. As if it were destined at that time, Rindu Kobayashi was a second-year high school student. With her talent and hard work, she successfully became a member of the Elite 10 Council. She loves adventure and hopes to find a powerful gourmet hunter as a partner to explore every corner of the world. So, after gaining certain privileges as one of the Elite 10 of Tatsuki, she led her expedition team to explore unknown areas. While exploring a dangerous area in the outskirts of Tokyo, Kobayashi Rindu and her team were attacked by a wild beast. The rest of the team members lost their lives, and she was also seriously injured. Qianyi happened to be passing by on a mission and saved Kobayashi Rindu. Because Longdon's injuries were too severe, and they were in the wilderness, Qianyi had to resort to some special methods to save him. Thanks to Cha's special treatment, Kobayashi Rindu finally struggled back from the brink of death. For the next few days, Qianyi stayed by Kobayashi Rindu's side, healing her wounds until she was out of danger, at which point Qianyi left. The two thus formed an inextricable bond and secretly developed feelings for each other. 3 months after they met, Qianyi took the initiative to confess her feelings to Xiaolin Longdon, and the two became boyfriend and girlfriend and formed a partnership. Initially, Chie planned to have Kobayashi Rindu leave Tatsuki and go on an adventure with her. However, Kobayashi Rindu felt that her current cooking skills were somewhat lacking. She had no problem handling ordinary ingredients, but she might be helpless when it came to high-end ingredients. Qianyi respected Longdon's choice and allowed her to stay in Tatsuki to continue her studies, research and improve her cooking skills. After chatting with Kobayashi Rindu for a while, Qianyi started looking at today's food news, waiting for Yukihira Joakiro to finish cooking. IGO has welcomed a new member nation, a government from the Red Earths. Food prices are generally trending upward today and are expected to continue rising over the next 7 days. A dog demon has been spotted in a small border village. IGO has dispatched professional gourmet hunters to exterminate it. Food news reports on the latest news from around the world. The Earth in this world is about 160 times larger than the Earth Qianyi originally had. The world is divided into 2 parts, the culinary world and the human world. The human realm occupies less than 1% of the world's area, while the remaining 99% belongs to the food realm. This shows how vast the culinary world is. Even so, the human world is also very vast, with more than 30 billion people living in it to date. More than 360 countries have joined IGO, not including those that have not yet joined. On such a vast land, countless strange and unusual things happen every day. Qianyi only browses what interests him to kill time. After waiting for about 40 minutes, Sayakiro Yukihira delivered the finished dish to Chai. As expected of Joakiro, Yukihiraho is known as Shura. Other chefs would probably spend half an hour just preparing ingredients like Shackleton. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Joakiro's special Shackleton Norton thick broth ramen. Joakiro placed a steaming bowl of ramen in front of Chie, saying, "The usual, I'll make a supersized portion for you." Inside the large bowl, which was half a meter in diameter, was a bowl full of ramen. The ramen noodles lay quietly in the milky white broth, with meat rolls, bread slices, and other side dishes neatly arranged on top. Although it wasn't my first time tasting Yukihira Joakiro's cooking, seeing dishes I'd never tried before always filled me with anticipation. Qianyi picked up her chopsticks and stirred gently. The aroma wafted up, making one's appetite increase. Such a rich aroma. I feel grateful for all the ingredients in this world. Well then, I'll dig in. After saying that, Qianyi picked up a ramen noodle and slurped it into her mouth. The broth of the ramen is white, which means it's a thick broth, so the ramen should have a strong flavor. But when you slurp up this ramen, instead of the heavy taste you might expect, it has a refreshing feel. I see. Grapefruit was kneaded into these noodles, which is why they have this refreshing aroma. The broth is not only made with Shacklin Norton's bones, but also with soy milk and caramel flavoring. Am I right, Uncle Joakiro? Qianyi said. As expected of you, you even noticed it in your food. Akiro Ju explained. The broth for this ramen is made by simmering the bones of Shackleton after crushing them. Then I added a paste of scallops that is rich, delicate, and a little sticky. This makes the broth both rich and silky. So how does the side dish taste? Qianyi first picked up a slice of meat roll and slowly put it into her mouth. This was Qianyi's first time tasting Shackleton's meat. Qianyi gently pressed the tip of her tongue against her palate, slowly savoring the taste of the meat roll. The meat is delicate and slightly elastic, as if it's dancing in your mouth, because it has absorbed the flavor of the broth. The juices burst in your mouth when you bite into it. Shackleton's meat lives up to its reputation, with a unique flavor. In just 1 minute, Qianyi finished a large bowl of ramen without leaving a single drop, even drinking all the broths. Ding cell level has increased to level 32. After eating the ramen made by Shiro Akiro, Qianyi's cell level increased by 2 levels. Shacker Norton's capture level wasn't high, but this was Qianyi's first time tasting it, and it was very helpful for cell enhancement. Thank you for the hospitality. It would be nice to be able to enjoy Uncle Shiro's cooking every day. Well, I mean this kind of regular cooking, Qianyi said. Upon hearing Chihiro's words, Yukihira Joakiro said, I'm afraid things won't work for a while. I'm planning to close down for a period of time. Close down? Why? Have you encountered any difficulties? I can help. Qianyi looked at Yukihira Joakiro with concern, her eyes full of sincerity. I didn't encounter any difficulties. It was an old friend abroad who asked me to go back, so I had to leave. What about Soma? Are you planning to take him with you? Of course not. I've already told Soma to go to Tatsuki Academy to study. Closed for business, Choangjin is moving to Yuanyu. This scene seems familiar. Then I remembered that Kobayashi Rindu had mentioned earlier that the new semester at Tatsuki Academy was about to begin. Qianyi nodded to himself inwardly. If the food wars storyline is about to begin, then the food prisoner storyline should also be coming soon. As the story progresses, the tasks Qianyi receives will change, and the rewards will become more abundant. Qianyi nodded and said yes. Sending Soma to Tatsuki Culinary Academy is a good choice. With his talent, he will definitely become an excellent chef. He's still a worry. If Soma had your abilities, he wouldn't need to go to Tatsuki. I couldn't trust the restaurant to him with peace of mind. Joakiro sighed after saying this, with a hint of disappointment in his voice. Little did they know that their conversation was overheard by Soma Yukihira, who was coming out of the kitchen. What are you talking about, dads? Last time in the cooking competition, I almost beat Qianyi. If I had used better ingredients, I definitely would have won. Soma ran out of the kitchen and shouted in protest. 6 months ago, Soma and Chi, in a whim, held a culinary showdown at Yukihira restaurant. The result was obvious. How could Chuangjin possibly be a match for Qianyi? Soma suffered a complete defeat in order to defeat Qianyi. Qianyi has been working hard to improve his cooking skills over the past 6 months. Qianyi, let's have another match now. I'm sure I can beat you this time. Qianyi smiled as he looked at Qianyi. He knew that Qianyi had been looking for an opportunity to prove himself. So he calmly replied, Qianyi, I personally think that the outcome of a cooking competition is not important. What is important is that we find the reasons for our failures in cooking and learn and improve from them. You are no match for me now, that's the truth right now. Soma's cooking skills are at most at the beginner level, which is far behind Chia's. Joachiro also realized this, which is why he sent Soma to study at Tatsuki Culinary Academy. If he had stayed at the restaurant, the gap between him and Chia would have only widened. How about this, you go to Tatsuki Academy to train first, and after you become one of the 10 elites of Tatsuki, I'll compete with you again, Qianyi said. Okay, I must become one of the 10 heroes. Soma spoke aggressively, then suddenly collapsed, his expression blank as he asked, but what are the Elite 10 of Tatsuki? The Tatsuki Elite 10 Council is short for Tatsuki Elite 10. It is the highest decision-making body of Tatsuki Academy, a committee composed of the 10 students with the highest evaluations and academic rankings within the academy. It is an organization directly under the commander-in-chief. You can think of it as a team composed of the 10 most powerful people in the school. Qianyi explained in the grand world of food fetish. The Elite 10 of Tatsuki represent a certain level of status and strength, and they are renowned in the Tokyo area. Chia, I didn't expect you to know so much about Tatsuki. Joachiro said with some surprise. Qianyi smiled and said, oh yes, because my girlfriend is at Tatsuki Academy and currently holds the second seat of the Tatsuki Elite 10. Soma, if you encounter any difficulties after entering Tatsuki, you can go to my girlfriend and she will help you, okay? Soma nodded. A few days later, Yukihira restaurant officially closed down. Joachiro Yukihira left Tokyo to become the head chef at a famous hotel abroad, while Soma Yukihira went to Tatsuki Culinary Academy to take the entrance exam for transfer students. The food war storyline begins. As Qianyi passed by the entrance of Xingping restaurant, a sense of loss rose in her heart as she looked at the tightly closed door. Since being transported to this world, I've eaten almost all 3 meals a day at Yukihira restaurant, a place that holds a year's worth of memories. Not only Che, but other regular customers also didn't want to see Yukihira restaurant close down. All good things must come to an end. Yukihira and his son must strive for their dreams. After a brief moment of disappointment, Qianyi composed herself and headed towards the commercial street. As she walked along, people greeted Qianyi and she responded politely to each one. Strange, it's been a week, and the system's tasks haven't been refreshed yet. Qianyi opened the system task panel but found no tasks. Just as Qianyi was wondering, a voice came from behind. Excuse me, are you Mr. Qianyi? Qianyi turned around and saw a short young man standing in front of him. Thick eyebrows, big eyes. Not only is he short, but he also has a very ordinary appearance. However, it was this ordinary-looking person who made Qianyi pause for several seconds. Excuse me, are you Mr. Qianyi? It wasn't until the man spoke again that Qianyi came back to her senses. Yes, I am Qianyi. What do you need me for? I am Chef Komatsu, the head chef of Gourmet Grand Hotel. I would like to ask you to help me catch an ingredient. Do you have any other requests right now? Komatsu said politely, bowing slightly. Komatsu, the male protagonist of Toriko, possesses exceptional culinary talent and luck, and currently serves as the head chef of the Gourmet Grand Hotel, a direct subsidiary of IGO. The reason Qianyi was distracted just now was because of this. Unexpectedly, the male protagonist of the food prisoner world took the initiative to come to their door. When you have time, what do you need me to capture? Qianyi asked, already having a rough idea in mind. It's a Galapagos crocodile that inhabits the barren islands. Komatsu said nervously, revealing the ingredients he had requested, as expected. It really is a Galactus. The story of the grappler world has begun. No problem, I'll complete the task within half a month. Qianyi agreed to the task after a little thought. Xiaosong thought Qianyi would consider it for a long time. After all, it was a level 5 beast to capture, and its habitat was in the extremely dangerous barren islands. About the price, the retail price of Galapagos is 500. 0 yen per kilogram depending on the cut. If you're not satisfied with that price, you can discuss it. Komatsu said cautiously. Sure, just go with the market price. Qianyi didn't care about the price, looking at Xiaosong, who was very reserved in front of her, smiled and said, Chef Xiaosong, are you so nervous? Do I look scary? Ah, no, that's not it, Komatsu hurriedly explained. I imagine that a famous and skilled gourmet hunter like Mr. Chiyo should be very serious. So I unconsciously became a little nervous. Haha, even formality has its occasions. In this situation, there's no need to be so reserved. And please don't keep calling me sir. I'm much younger than you. Just call me by my name, Qianyi said with a smile. A thousand changes. Xiaosong awkwardly called out. Then immediately corrected himself saying, Just call me Mr. Qianyi, whatever you want. Just leave me your contact information, and I'll let you know once we've captured the Galapagos. Qianyi said, Hey, is it enough to just leave my contact information? I don't need to sign any agreements or anything. Xiaosong asked, Hee, I trust you and I trust IGO behind you. I might sign a commission agreement with other people, but not with you, Qianyi said. Ah, thank you for your trust in us. This is my phone number. And I've also written down our boss's phone number. Xiaosong handed the paper with the phone numbers written on it to Qianyi with both hands. Qianyi accepted it. That's settled then. Go back and wait for my good news, by the way. Now that this mission is complete, I'd like to go to the gourmet hotel and try Chef Komatsu's cooking. Okay, no problems. The gourmet hotel is always ready to welcome Mr. Qianyi. Qianyi returned home and opened the task panel. Just as he had guessed, the tasks had been refreshed. The Grand Gourmet Hotel's request, main quest. Introduction, the story of Toriko has officially begun. The host's abilities have already affected the plots. Now, please complete Komatsu's request and land on the barren islands to capture the Galapagos. Rewards, food points plus 100 reputation plus 80 talent stone, x1. As expected of a main quest, the reward is a whopping 100 points. Completing this quest is equivalent to completing 5 or 6 regular quests. And there are also item rewards that have never appeared before. According to the storyline of Food Prisoner, the gourmet who was commissioned by the Gourmet Hotel to capture the Galapagos was Toriko. Qianyi's appearance changed the course of the plot and triggered the main quest. In other words, without sufficient strength, Qianyi cannot influence the plot and therefore will not trigger this main quest. If he were just an unknown gourmet with no ability to catch Galapagos, would the Gourmet Hotel send Komatsu to find him? Obviously not. Although the main quest is quite difficult to trigger, the rewards for completing it are very substantial once you obtain it. Make some preparations. Due to its unique geographical location, the barren islands can only be reached by boat or helicopter. It takes a day and a night to reach Tokyo by boat, but only 3 hours by plane. Going by sea is too troublesome. And there's a risk of running aground when we reach the barren islands. Let's go by plane instead. After making her decision, Qianyi began preparations. In addition to completing the tasks issued by the system during this year, he also accepted commissions from other people. And the wealth he accumulated was enough to buy a new airplane. Choosing to travel by air to a dangerous place like the barren islands is not feasible with ordinary planes, as there is a risk of being attacked by wild animals even in the air. Therefore, it is necessary to order a special plane from IGO. From ordering to delivery it takes at least 10 days. And the task is scheduled for half a month. So there's definitely not enough time. We have to find another way. After thinking for a while, Qianyi picked up her phone and dialed Kobayashi Rindu's number. The phone rang twice before being answered, and Kobayashi Rindu's voice came through. Huh, you actually called me first, you missed me noit. You straight man, you definitely need my help with something. Right, Qianyi's forehead darkened. He hadn't expected Kobayashi Rinden to so directly expose his thoughts. He coughed awkwardly, trying to ease the tension. Genshin. Actually, there is something I would like to ask you for help with. Oh, tell me what's the matter that made you such a busy person come to me. Kobayashi Rindu's tone was slightly teasing. Qianyi then told Zaire Alin Longden about the commission. Barren Islands Galapagos captured. From the other end of the phone came Kobayashi Rindu's exclamation. That's amazing, I've always wanted to go to this place. I don't care, you have to take me there this time. Kobayashi Rindu's tone carried a hint of coquetry. I was originally planning to take you with me. HMPH, you straight man, you have the nerve to say that. You never took me on missions before. Who knows if you were lying to me again? Qianyi could only shake his head and smile bitterly. When the two first became a couple, Qianyi's cell level was less than 10, and he had trouble even protecting himself, let alone with Kobayashi Rindu. But things are different now. After more than half a year of hard work, Qianyi's cell level has reached 32, which makes him a qualified gourmet hunter. Exploring the Barren Islands, a place where the capture level will not exceed 10, is no problem at all. After chatting for a few more minutes, Qianyi and Kobayashi Rindu ended their call and agreed to meet at Tatsuki Academy early the next morning. With the airplane issue resolved, Qianyi still needed to buy some necessities. The place we're going to this time is very far away, so thorough preparation is essential. Drinking water, first aid kits, flashlights, outdoor tensek. In fact, most of these are not needed by Qianyi. They are all prepared for Kobayashi Rindu. Rindu Kobayashi is a chef but lacks culinary talent, making it difficult for him to adapt to the harsh environment of the Barren Islands. If Genshin's had gourmet cells, everything would be fine. Unfortunately, she wasn't born with a talent for food like Komatsu or Toriko. Nor did she have Che's cheat code for ordinary people. The safest and most effective way to obtain gourmet cells is to gradually acquire them from food. However, the downside is that it is too slow. Even after decades of consuming food, one may not necessarily acquire gourmet cells. Another method is to directly inject gourmet cells. But this method is prohibited by IGO because the risks are too high. And even if successful, there will be side effects. The last method combines the advantages of the first two while eliminating their disadvantages, making it the safest, most effective, and fastest way for ordinary people to obtain gourmet cells. That is to find the mythical ingredient called gourmet jellyfish. 500 years ago, a Kaisayeth god of food discovered food cells in a creature called the food jellyfish. It is understood that the cells in this jellyfish are more active than those in ordinary fish. The jellyfish, a delicacy, regenerates its limbs after being eaten, and the animals that eat it become even more delicious. Acacia discovered that life could evolve as a result. Later, food cells were implanted into the human body, which activated human cells. Human life could evolve after consuming food. And at the same time, human strength would surpass that of ordinary humans, exceeding human limits. Therefore, if we can find the food jellyfish, we can safely and quickly obtain food cells from Kobayashi Genshin. However, after this ingredient was discovered by Acacia 500 years ago, there has been no news of it since. Since we can't find any gourmet jellyfish, we can't take any risks right now. All we can do is let Kobayashi Rindu eat as many high-quality ingredients as possible while we slowly figure out a solution. The next day before dawn, Qianyi picked up the outdoor backpack she had packed the night before and left home. It was exactly 6 a.m., and several shops on the old commercial street had already opened their doors. Several busy vendors were tidying up their goods, and when they saw Qianyi passing by, they all greeted him warmly. Ayi, are you leaving so early? Do you have a new assignment? The person speaking to Qianyi at this moment is Tokugawa, the owner of the seafood shop on this commercial street. Good morning, Uncle Tokugawa. This time we have a mission from the Gourmet Hotel. A gourmet hotels. I remember it's a very famous five-star hotel. A property of IGO as expected of AE. He's already able to get commissions from IGO. What kind of ingredients are you going to capture this time? Tokugawa asked curiously. What kind of food are we going to catch this time? Tokugawa couldn't help but ask out of curiosity. Before realizing that these kinds of IGO commissions were kept secret and would not be disclosed to third parties. Sorry, you forgive me for asking too many questions. Tokugawa said, scratching the back of his head. There's no confidentiality agreement for this commission. So it's fine to tell you. What I need to capture is a Galapagos crocodile that inhabits the barren islands. Qianyi said upon hearing this. Tokugawa hurriedly jumped off the cargo crate and came to Chia, exclaiming in surprise, barren islands. That's a dangerous area designated by IGO. Are we going to the east and west this time? Don't worry. Uncle Tokugawa, his place poses no threat to me. That's true with your strength, IE. You're more than capable, but it's still best to be careful. I've heard that pirates have been spotted near the barren islands recently. Pirates, Tokugawa explained in other words. The Navigators were previously active in a remote country called the Red Line. Recently, this country has become a member state of IGO. And the pirates seem to have started exploring other places. Pirates, this is clearly a concept from the One Piece anime. Although these pirates possess the abilities of devil fruits, they are no match for gourmet hunters who have awakened their gourmet cells. Putting aside everything else, a single high-level ferocious beast in the human realm could wipe out their entire country. Thank you for the reminder, Uncle Tokugawa. I will be careful, Qianyi said and left. On the way to Tatsuki, Chie didn't take a car but chose to run. On the streets in the early morning, the mist had not yet completely dissipated, and sunlight filtered through the treetops, dappling the pavements. On the quiet street, you can see a figure running. Qianyi enjoyed the feeling of running on the empty streets and couldn't help but speed up. He ran so fast that he left afterimages, and the cars on the street could only see his back. Tatsuki Culinary Academy, officially known as Tatsuki Sario Culinary Academy, is a prestigious culinary school renowned in Tokyo and worldwide. It has a secondary school and a higher school, both 3 years in length. But graduating from here is extremely difficult. Only a few dozen people manage to stand out from this school each year. Even in this vast world, chefs who graduate from Tatsuki Culinary Academy can enjoy the glory of being popular stars in the culinary world. In recent years, Tatsuki Academy has had many collaborations with IGO, making countless people want to enter the academy. At 7:42, Qianyi appeared at the main gate of Tatsuki Academy. Few were here. It took 102 minutes, and the improvement in cell level is quite noticeable. Qianyi wiped the sweat from her forehead, slung her outdoor backpack over her shoulder, and headed towards the far moon. It was during class time, and along the way, I saw many students wearing far moon uniforms. Qianyi saw her past self before she transmigrated in these busy students. If I hadn't time traveled, I would probably be just as busy with my studies as they are. Qianyi simply sighed and didn't think about it anymore. He understood the principle of, since we're here, let's make the best of it. I casually sat down on the grass by the roadside and took out a bottle of mineral water from my backpack to drink slowly. He was dressed casually, wearing a khaki outdoor backpack, and sitting on the ground drinking water not far away. A group of students were gathered together discussing something. Occasionally, a few curious glances would sweep over him and then quickly look away. Qianyi paid no attention to the stares of these people and continued drinking water. A student who had just entered the high school walked up to Qianyi and said in a lecturing tone, "This student, Heaven, if you don't care about your own image, you should at least consider the reputation of Tatsuki." Qianyi slightly raised his head and looked at the high school student. His eyes did not contain a trace of anger, but instead revealed a sense of calm and profundity. He gently put down the mineral water bottle in his hand, slowly stood up and replied with a smile, "Classmate, You are right, everyone should uphold the image of the group. But I think that image is not determined by outward clothing and behavior, but by inner qualities and cultivation. The student was clearly unmoved by Qianyi's attitude. He frowned and continued with your casual attitude. Where does this place of Tatsuki Academy stand? Do you know that this is a place with strict discipline and rules? As a chef, you don't even care about your appearance. Qianyi maintained his smile, looked into the student's eyes, and said softly, true cultivation and quality are not achieved by forcibly following rules. Also, I am not a student of Tatsuki Academy. You're not a student of Tatsuki Academy, you are. Before the student could finish speaking, Kobayashi Rindu's shouts came from afar, Qianyi. Oh, thank you for your kind reminder anyway. After Qianyi finished speaking, he patted the first-year student on the shoulder and then walked past him. Since their last parting, the two had not seen each other for half a month, and their nightly video calls could not alleviate the pain of longing during their passionate relationship. Kobayashi Rindu leaped from a distance into Qianyi's arms. I miss you so much, Longden nestled in Qianyi's arms. Me too. Qianyi wrapped her arms around Longden's slender waist. Qianyi and Longden are kindred spirits and don't care about other people's opinions. However, the students watching were mostly surprised, especially the one who had just taught Qianyi a lesson. Their mouths were agape and they couldn't close them for a long time. I can't believe my eyes, right, Senior Longden. The second seat of the 10 elites is actually snuggling in the arms of a tasteless student. Wait a minute, that person looks like a gourmet hunter. I've seen him in the gourmet news before. He's a gourmet hunter and he's so young. The students around them were talking amongst themselves. They seemed to be talking about you. What were you doing here just now? Genshin asked curiously. I got scolded. They thought I dressed too unfashionably and made Yuan Yue lose face. Qianyi spread her hands, feigning helplessness. Longden looked Qianyi up and down, then laughed and said, PFF Tayo really do look tacky. But it doesn't matter, I like you, you country bumpkin. Smack. She deserves a beating for calling her husband a country bumpkin. Don't do anything naughty, there are people watching. The two slowly left amidst the stunned gazes of the others. Brother, you just taught a lesson not only to a powerful gourmet hunter, but also to the boyfriend of the second seat of the Elite 10. I think you should just drop out of Tatsuki Academy. The boy who had just taught Qianyi a lesson was on the verge of tears. Filled with regret, he wished he hadn't been so arrogant. Now he had kicked a hornet's nest. Offending a powerful gourmet hunter is more serious than offending one of the Elite 10. Little did he know, Qianyi didn't take this matter to heart at all to him. It was just a spice in life as the morning sun rose. Kobayashi Rinden's long, blood-red hair shimmered in the sunlight, and her golden eyes possessed a unique beauty. She seemed to have dressed up carefully for today's meeting. Wearing a classic JK uniform, the white shirt collar was slightly open, revealing a section of her delicate neck. The short skirt of the uniform paired with black stockings made her legs appear even longer and more alluring. She wore simple black leather shoes that blended perfectly with the stockings. This outfit is both youthful and energetic, yet sexy and beautiful. This made Qianyi, who had been separated from her for half a month, very eager to see it. Genshin, you look so beautiful today. Qianyi stared at Genshin's black stockings, reached out her hands and couldn't help but step forward. Longden slapped away Qianyi's mischievous hand, spun around in place, and smiled charmingly. Do you like these black stockings this time? I like it. I really want to find a secluded place for us to have a proper exchange. But if you go to the barren islands dressed like that, the mosquitoes there will be overjoyed, Qianyi said. Upon hearing Qianyi's words, Longdan's lips curled into a mischievous smile. Hee. I'll change into my adventure clothes later. By the way, are all the preparations done? Of course. The plane and the pilot are already waiting for us. Let's head over there right away. Good. An hour later, Kobayashi Rindal, dressed in adventure gear, appeared with Chia at a spot in the far Moon Mountain range. Hello, Mr. Qianyi. Name is Kazumi Ika. And I am the pilot invited by MS Kobayashi. Beside a helicopter, a man in his 30s said to Qianyi, "My mission is to safely deliver the two of you to the barren islands. Shall we depart immediately?" Qianyi nodded slightly, her gaze sweeping over the man before turning to Kobayashi Rindu. As if seeking her opinion, Kobayashi Rindu nodded firmly without hesitation. "Then let's set off immediately," Qianyi replied. "Good." Kazumi is a renowned pilot from Tatsuki Academy, known for his extensive experience and exceptional skills. He quickly checked all the equipment on the helicopter, and after confirming that everything was in order, he started the engine. The roar of the propellers echoed through the mountains as the helicopter slowly lifted off the ground. As the helicopter ascended, Kobayashi Rindu's excitement grew. "Qianyi, we've known each other for so long, and this is the first time you've taken me on an adventure. I'm so excited." After hearing this, Qianyi took Longden's hand and placed it in her own, saying, "Me too, I'm very happy to have you by my side. Although the level of the beasts captured in the barren islands this time is not high, it is still very dangerous. You have to be careful and not stray too far from me, okay?" Longden could feel Qianyi's deep concern and nodded happily. The barren islands are a unique archipelago composed of multiple islands. Most of the islands are tropical rainforests, with a wide variety of species including 200 species on the islands alone. The beast that reigns supreme over all living beings is undoubtedly the Galapagos. Almost every island has one or more Galapagos, ranging in size and age according to the anime. There is a Galapagos crocodile that is over 300 years old on Barbalia Island, at the southernmost tip of the island. Now that we've come this far, we must challenge the most powerful beasts. 2 hours later, the plane appeared over the islands in the South Daxia Sea. "Mr. Chio Ms. Kobayashi, we can already see the barren islands. We will land on Barbalia Island in about 10 minutes. As Hekon piloted the plane said, "There might be wild animals harassing us during the landing. So hold on tight, you two. The barren islands are home to many wild animals, including some flying creatures. Okay, we understand. Land with peace of mind if any wild beasts harass you. I will take care of them," Qianyi said. Yes. With Qianyi's words of encouragement, Hekon sailed towards Barbaria Island with peace of mind. The island was very close, and when they got very close, Qianyi and the others saw a ship moored on the shore. This was no ordinary ship, because a skull and crossbones flag with a straw hat was flying high on its mast. "Pirate ship, and it's the Straw Hat Pirates. Interesting to run into them here. But can Luffy and his crew, who have only recently set sail, really handle the beasts of barren islands?" Qianyi muttered to himself. 10 minutes later, the plane landed smoothly on Barbary Island without encountering any wild animals during the flight. Strange that landing went so smoothly, and there were no other ferocious beasts around after landing, Hekon said, looking around. These words also aroused Kobayashi Rindu's suspicion. Normally, such a biodiverse place as the barren islands would not be able to produce such a situation. Barbary Island is quieter than other islands, serially quiet. Upon seeing this, Qianyi became even more certain of his belief that this island must be inhabited by a powerful Galapagos crocodile. "Senior Hekon, you don't need to wait for us, just go back," Qianyi said, gazing into the depths of the jungle. "Mr. Qianyi, don't you need me to take you back?" Hekon asked in confusion. A 100-year-old Galapagos weighs 13 tons, which is impossible for our plane to carry, let alone a 300-year-old mutated Galapagos. "You mean there's a 300-year-old Galapagos crocodile on this island?" "That's absolutely right. That's why there weren't any other ferocious beasts around here. They either became food for the Galapagos or escaped to other places. Soon as we capture this big guy, I'll contact the Gourmet Hotel directly and have them handle the transport themselves." "I see." Subsequently, Kazumi Akiro piloted the plane away. Qianyi took Kobayashi Rindu's hand and stood at the entrance of the jungle. The dim light cast a shadow of mystery and tension on their faces. The surrounding trees were lush and verdant, blocking out the sun. A cold wind occasionally blew from the depths of the jungle, causing Kobayashi Rinden to unconsciously move closer to Che. "Are you scared?" Qianyi asked. Kobayashi Rindu had undertaken many expeditions, but the most dangerous places he had ever been were only the deep jungles in the remote suburbs, which could not compare to the barren islands at all. Even though he had prepared himself mentally on the way here, Kobayashi Rindu was still nervous, and sweat seeped out as he held Che's hand. "I'm scared. But when I think of you by my side, I'm not afraid of anything anymore," Kobayashi Rindu said. Qianyi smiled and held Kobayashi Rindu's hand tightly, as if to share her fear. "With me here, I won't let you get hurt in the slightest. Just treat it as a normal adventure. Let's go." Qianyi and Kobayashi Rindu finally entered the depths of the jungle in the barren islands. Entering the jungle and standing outside the jungle are like two different worlds. Upon stepping inside, a chill ran through my entire body. Despite being a tropical rainforest climate, the temperature was quite high, making it hard not to shiver. Sunlight filters through the gaps in the leaves, casting dappled shadows that highlight the eeriness of the jungle, where the roars of wild beasts can be heard from the depths of the forest at any moment. "Qianyi, this is so strange." Kobayashi Rindu looked around warily and said, "I've heard that the barren islands have more than 200 species of life, and that creatures are found all over the place. But we've been traveling for so long and haven't encountered a single beast." Although Kobayashi Rindu had never ventured into dangerous places like the barren islands, she frequently went on expeditions to other places and was quite knowledgeable about wilderness exploration. "That's because most of the beasts were eaten, and some escaped to other places," Qianyi said. "Eaten." Kobayashi Rindu immediately recalled what Chia had just said about a 300-year-old Galapagos on this island. Could it be that they were all eaten by that mutated Galapagos? Qianyi nodded, holding Longdon's hand as they continued walking forward. "That's right, Gala crocodiles are omnivorous gluttons, and they need to consume a lot of food every day. As they grow in size and age, their need for food increases. Every few years, IGO commissions skilled gourmet hunters to capture Gala crocodiles, not to use their meat to entertain VIPs. But that's just a favor. The main purpose is to maintain the ecological balance of the barren islands." "An ecological balance?" Kobayashi Rindu thought for a while and then understood. "Saying I see. If we don't stop the Galapagos and let it continue to eat, all the creatures on the island will be eaten to extinction." "Well, that's it. IGO may have neglected its jurisdiction over the barren islands in recent years, which is why there's such a big guy here. But that's what makes it interesting." Qianyi's mouth watered at the thought of the delicious Galapagos meat. A Galapagos that has lived for 300 years must have meat that's matured to near perfection. "Longdon, would you like to try some?" "Of course I want to," Kobayashi Rindu said as the two were talking. A leech suddenly appeared out of nowhere and clung to the back of Longdon's hand. This leech was ridiculously large, completely covering the back of the gentian's hand. Kobayashi Rinden turned pale and looked at the wriggling leech in her hand, asking Qianyi for help. "Qianyi, what is this?" "It's disgusting, haha, don't be nervous. It's just a leech. Apart from sucking blood, it's nothing serious. Don't try to peel it off forcibly, or the wound will get bigger." As Qianyi spoke, she grabbed a handful of leaves from a nearby tree, then squeezed them hard, and the juice from the leaves slowly dripped from her hand. The sap from the leaves dripped onto the leech, and the next second the creature broke free of the gentian's guard and slid to the ground. It fell off. Why? Leeches hate contact with salt. This jungle absorbs seawater, and the salt remains in the leaves because of this. Even insects won't eat the leaves of this island, which is why it grows so lushly. Kobayashi Rindu nodded. On her way here, she had read a lot of information about the barren islands. But what Qianyi had just said was all valuable experience gained from her personal exploration as a gourmet hunter. And it was not mentioned in any books. This shows how important an experienced gourmet hunter is in such a place. After walking for another half hours, we heard the shouts of wild beasts and humans ahead. Nami, cheer up, roar, the roar of the beast was deafening. Upon hearing the sound, Qianyi immediately ran forward. After passing through a jungle, they came to a swamp and saw the Straw Hats fighting two wild beasts. One of them resembled a tiger in appearance, but it was 6 meters long and had a mouth full of sharp teeth, with two sharp fangs that were a full meter long and exposed. Barren Tiger. The captured level 3 beast is a type of tiger that inhabits the Barren Islands. It is an apex predator in the Barren Islands food chain, possessing extremely fast speed and astonishing combat capabilities. The other one was a lizard. Barren Poison Lizard, capture level 4. A creature that inhabits the Barren Islands. More than its combat abilities, what troubles countless gourmet hunters is its venom. Even a single drop can be fatal. Nami, who was lying on the ground, had been bitten by the Barren Poison Lizard and was groaning in pain. Sanji was supporting her and anxiously calling out to Luffy and Zoro. Luffy, get out of here quickly and find a doctor to cure Nami's poison. Luffy and Zoro are still locked in combat with two ferocious beasts and have no way to break free. Upon seeing this, Qianyi couldn't help but smile. There are already 4 peoples. It seems the One Piece series has been going on for quite some time. However, how did they get from the Red Earth to the Barren Islands? Luffy also regretted it. If he hadn't suggested finding food on the island, they wouldn't have been attacked by wild beasts, and Nami wouldn't have been poisoned as a result. This island is too strange. More dangerous than any island they have been to before. There are a great number of ferocious beasts, and each one is incredibly powerful. Just like this big tiger in front of him. Even if he used all his strength, could not defeat it. Sanji, you take Nami and go first. Zoro and I will hold these two off, Luffy said without turning around. Luffy was certain that Barren Tiger would launch an attack the moment he relaxed his guard. Seeing that Luffy and Zoro couldn't get away, Sanji had no choice but to leave with Nami, planning to return to the ship and think of a solution. Just as Sanji was about to pick up Nami, a voice came from the side. If you don't want her to die, don't touch her. Who? Sanji carried him away, and only then did he see Che and Kobayashi Rindu walking towards him. Who are you? Qianyi didn't answer Sanji's question, looking at the unconscious Nami on the ground, whose skin was gradually turning purple, said. Once someone is poisoned by the Barren Poison Lizard, the toxin will spread throughout their body via the bloodstream. Moving her now will only accelerate the spread of the venom in her blood. When the toxin reaches her heart, she will surely die. Sanji immediately stopped his outstretched hands toward Nami. What should I do now? Please save Nami, she's my comrade. I'll do anything to save her. Sanji then knelt down before Qianyi. Sanji understood that Qianyi must be a powerful person to be able to appear on this dangerous island unharmed. Therefore, Sanji made a request to Qianyi. Please save Nami, I'll do anything you ask. Sanji said, then knelt down. Qianyi stood there quietly, a subtly almost imperceptible tremor in her eyes. Looking into Sanji's earnest eyes, he couldn't help but nod inwardly. The bond between the Straw Hat crew is the same as in the anime. Looking at Nami lying on the ground groaning in pain, Kobayashi Rindu felt a pang of pity and said to Chihiro, Chihiro, please save her. She looks like she's in a lot of pain. Qianyi nodded to Kobayashi Rindu, then looked at Sanji and said, get up first. Saving people is fine, but you must pay me the corresponding reward after it's done. This is my principle as a gourmet hunter. Unless it's someone very close or someone who has done you a favor. If you ask Qianyi for help, you either have to give them money or items of equal value. Upon hearing this, Sanji agreed without hesitation, saying, we have 100 million berries on our ship, and other valuables that we can give you, as long as you can save Nami. Peel, by the way, the country where the people in the One Piece world live. The Red Line has only recently joined IGO, and their currency is not yet unified. The people in that country all use their own currency. Fine, as long as it doesn't violate my principles. Qianyi watched Nami continue and said, "When a poisonous snake appears, there is always an antidote within 10 steps. The antidote for the barren lizard's venom is actually itself. Mix the barren lizard's blood with water in a 1:1 ratio and drink it to detoxify. Barren lizard blood not only detoxifies the body, but also promotes blood circulation, making it very beneficial to health. Although the antidote is right in front of you, I think your companion is also nearing his end." No sooner had Qianyi finished speaking than Luffy was swatted away by Baron Tiger's claws, landing heavily on the ground and rolling several times before stopping. Zoro was helpless against the Baron Poison Lizard, which was covered in venom. Not only did he fail to harm the lizard, but he also exhausted a lot of his own strength. Qianyi didn't rush to make a move. He looked at Sanji and slowly said, "Your Navigators' activities are limited to this country. The red line, I'm curious how you got to this area." Sanji sighed and then explained the reason. The plot of One Piece revolves around the Straw Hat crew. At this moment, Luffy and his crew had just experienced a fierce battle and successfully defeated Arlong's Arlong pirates. Their morale was high, and they continued to advance towards their goal of the Great Voyage with full confidence. However, just a few days ago, a sudden and huge storm plunged their fleet into an unprecedented predicament. That day the sky was covered with dark clouds, and the wind howled fiercely, as if it would swallow the whole world. The waves surged and roared, like a ferocious beast attempting to tear the fleet to pieces. After struggling at sea for several days, Luffy and his crew were exhausted. However, they did not give up and continued to search for a way out. Finally, through a blurry vision, they found themselves near the Barren Islands. They thought the Barren Islands would bring them hope, but instead it brought endless despair. The creatures on the Barren Islands were more powerful and numerous than any they had ever seen before, once again plunging them into a predicament. Qianyi knew a little about the One Piece storyline. He remembered that after defeating Arlong, Luffy should have had 5 people on his ship looking around. I realized that one of the long-nosed guys was missing. Thinking of this, Qianyi immediately asked, "How many crew members do you have in total?" 5. Usopp went into the forest ahead to look for food and hasn't come back yet. Sanji's expression was full of worry. "That's the territory of Galapagos ahead. You guys are really overestimating yourselves. You came here without even figuring out what this island is all about." "Oh well, I can't blame you. People lose their minds when they're hungry," Qianyi said, shaking his head. In fact, given Luffy and his crew's strength, even if they couldn't kill the beasts of Barren Islands, they wouldn't have ended up in such a sorry state. The group had been adrift at sea for several days, and their exhaustion made them vulnerable to the unknown dangers they faced, which is why they suffered a great loss. After Nami was poisoned, the group became even more disoriented. Qianyi raised his right hand and said to Luffy and Zoro, who were already at their limit not far away, "Back off. Leave it to me." As he spoke, a powerful aura suddenly surged from Qianyi's body, instantly spreading throughout the surroundings. The aura was like a violent storm, causing everyone present to tremble. Qianyi raised her right hand, her fingers forming a chopstick grip. A moment later, a pair of golden chopsticks, each 3 meters long, appeared above the right hand. Baron tigers possess commendable advanced combat abilities in their habitat, but they also excel at crisis management, allowing them to flee instantly when faced with a stronger predator. Sensing Qianyi's powerful aura, he instantly darted into the depths of the jungle and fled. Baron Lizard was slow to realize what was happening. By the time it reacted, the golden chopsticks had already grabbed it and lifted it off the ground. No matter how much it struggled, it was all in vain. The Baron Lizard, weighing a full 2 tons, was held in midair by Grandma Golden Chopsticks. Not to mention Luffy and his crew had never seen it before. Even Kobayashi Rindu was seeing Sen's food-eating weapon for the first time. "Baron Lizard, I'll take your body and blood." Qianyi extended his left hand again, and an even smaller golden chopstick was swung out instantly, accurately piercing a pressure point on the barren lizard. Acupressure successful. Qianyi then put away the chopsticks, and the barren lizard landed on the ground. I've already anesthetized it. Now all you need to do is do as I say, take its blood. Mix it with water and give it to Nami to drink to detoxify. Qianyi said to Sanji, okay. Sanji didn't linger and immediately took out the kitchen knife he carried with him to start processing the barren lizard. He's a chef too, Kobayashi Rindu exclaimed in surprise, looking at Sanji's skillful knife work. With Sanji's skills, bleeding the barren poison lizard would be no problem at all. Qianyi looked into the depths of the jungle again. We need to get there quickly. The Galapagos are already attacking. Qianyi led Kobayashi Rinden quickly toward the central area of the forest. The central area is the territory ruled by Galapagos, and any creature that enters this area will be attacked. When Qianyi and Longden stepped inside, they felt the terrifying aura of this 300-year-old Galapagos. This aura alone is enough to make an ordinary person's legs go weak and lose the ability to move. Qianyi gripped Longden's hand tightly, giving her the courage to move forward. This kind of place was still unsuitable for her, who had no talent for gourmet food. As you approach the habitat of the Galapagos, you can see the carcasses of predators such as the barren tiger and the barren lizard everywhere. These uneaten carcasses are clearly the work of Galapagos. The air was filled with the stench of rotting corpses. As they continued forward, the terrifying atmosphere grew stronger in an open space. No, there is no open space at all in the barren islands. This place was originally a dense forest, but it was flattened by the huge body of the Galapagos. The Galapagos lurking in the center of the open space, locked onto Qianyi intruders. With eyes bigger than lanterns, Galapagos is a giant crocodile that reigns supreme in the barren island's ecosystem. Despite its low reproductive rate, it is highly resilient, and an adult Galapagos has a capture rating of 5. Although it is said to taste similar to ordinary bird meat, the meat of the Granada crocodile, after being matured for a long time, has a fat content and flavor that can rival the sirloin of the highest grade Wagyu beef. So far, there has been no other way to capture it except by hunting. But in recent years, IGO has been researching clones in hopes of achieving mass production. Qianyi and Kobayashi Rindu finally found the Galapagos, a huge creature that had lived for 300 years. From beginning to end, the entire length exceeds 20 meters. And it sits together like a small hill. This is a Galapagos. Kobayashi Rindu was terrified when he saw the enormous creature before him. Qianyi held Longden's hand, trying to calm Longden's nervousness. Even Qianyi was taken aback when he witnessed the enormous body of the giant Galapagos, let alone an ordinary person like Longdan. Yes, this is a Galapagos. Genshin, leave the rest to me. You find a safe place to hide, I'll take care of it quickly. Upon hearing Qianyi's words, Kobayashi Rindu nodded, turned around, and ran towards a nearby thicket of bushes to find a place to hide. You've been running rampant in this place for decades, and you've almost driven the creatures of Barbaria Island to extinction. Today it's time to pay the price. After saying that, Qianyi once again conjured the food-based weapon from his body, and a powerful aura surged out from within him. The Garala sensed the power of the human before it, but it did not flee. The reason the Galapagos was prevented from fleeing was not the pride of being the king of the island, but the ignorance of having never experienced a life-threatening situation for 300 years. A pair of golden chopsticks appeared above Qianyi's head, longer and larger than the chopsticks used to catch the barren poison lizard. A 5-meter-long golden chopstick floated in the air and locked onto the Galapagos. Qianyi clasped his hands together and bowed to the Gara crocodile. Gara crocodile, your flesh and blood will become a part of my body. With gratitude for all things in this world, I'll begin. Continuous chopsticks, as Qianyi waved his right hand. 2 giant golden chopsticks were swiftly swung towards Gara crocodile. Slap slap. The chopsticks tapped rhythmically on the back of the Galapagos. Well, the crocodile cried out in pain. The chopsticks hitting its body weren't fatal, but the pain was excruciating. Qianyi ignored the Gara crocodile's cries and moved with fluid grace, each chopstick landing precisely on the crocodile. His eyes seemed to have become one with the golden chopsticks. As the chopsticks tapped the alligator, its skin began to blush, a symbol of life being awakened. Upon seeing this, Qianyi's mouth watered. Hee, the meat tastes even better now, that's right. That's Qianyi's goal, to continuously pound the alligator meat with chopsticks to make it tender and more palatable. The principle is the same as pounding beef with a meat tenderizer before cooking steak. With Qianyi's strength, killing Galakron directly would not be difficult. The Galapagos is the king of this island after all. How could it willingly become someone else's meal? With a sudden flick of its massive tail, it kicked up countless clods of mud, attempting to overturn Qianyi, but Qianyi was prepared. He tilted his body and easily avoided the Galakron's attack. The Galapagos let out another cry of pain, this time feeling an unprecedented fear, experiencing the fear of death for the first time. Qianyi didn't give Galakron much time to think. He swung his chopsticks again, this time faster and with more force. That's about it, the cooking is nearing its end. As Qianyi clasped his hands together, the two chopsticks in the air merged into one. Take a deep breath and calm yourself down. He raised his chopsticks and aimed them at the Galapagos' head. A single chopstick. The golden chopsticks fell from the sky with lightning speed, piercing through the Gara crocodile's head. The ends of the chopsticks penetrated 2 meters into the ground, firmly securing the Galapagos crocodile to the ground. Woo, the Galakron let out a desperate howl, and then its body instantly stiffened. Galapagos successfully captured. Qianyi put away her chopsticks and bowed again to the carcass of the Galapagos. Thank you for the meal, Kobayashi Rindu, who had been hiding in the bushes some distance away, ran over and looked at the carcass of the Galapagos with delight. Qianyi, you're amazing. You captured such a huge Galapagos crocodile so quickly. After saying that, Longden excitedly rushed into Qianyi's arms. Qianyi wrapped her arms around Longden's waist and laughed loudly. Now you know how powerful your husband is, right? Come on, give me a kiss, *3 epsilon *, wave this time. Longden did not dodge, and her expression immediately darkened. What's wrong? Qianyi asked, noticing something was wrong. I haven't been able to help you since I came here. I've only become a burden to you, Longden said. Bowing his head, Qianyi listened to Longden's words. Looking directly at her earnestly, Anne said, Longden, listen to Mayu will never be a burden to me. You are the most important person in my life. I will not allow you to say such things again. And why can't you help? The beast capture is next, it's your turn. Genshin then realized what was happening. Yes, I am a chef. Qianyi is in charge of capturing wild beasts. And I'm in charge of cooking, that's my value. Seeing Longden's sudden enlightenment, Qianyi couldn't help but tease her silly wife. Hurry up and cook me some food, I'm hungry. All right. Master Qianyi, please wait a moment. I'll cook for you right away. Kobayashi Rindu rolled her eyes at Qianyi, took out a kitchen knife from her backpack, and prepared to prepare the Galapagos. Although the Galapagos was the mission for this task, this 300-year-old Galapagos weighed at least 15 tons, enough to feed hundreds of people. It wouldn't matter if Qianyi ate a portion of it on her own. High-quality ingredients often require only simple cooking methods. Kobayashi Rindu cut a large, succulent piece of meat from the belly of a Galapagos, making a few simple cuts to ensure even heating during grilling and faster cooking. The meat was then skewered with iron skewers and slowly roasted over a fire. At high temperatures, the meat quickly releases oil, which clings to its surface like glistening gems. Releasing an enticing aroma, it smells so good. No seasonings were added. Just grilling it over a fire gave it such a wonderful aroma. No wonder it's a 300-year-old Galapagos. Qianyi stared longingly at the meat on the firewood pile. Genshin, isn't it ready yet? It will take about another minute for the delicious juices to fully develop. Let's wait a little longer. Kobayashi Rindu's control over the heat was quite precise. Something Qianyi couldn't match. She must have exceptional culinary skills to be able to secure the second seat of the Elite 10. Kobayashi Rindu's specialty in cooking is rare ingredients. Galapagos is a type of crocodile, and is therefore considered a rare food. Although this was Kobayashi Rindu's first time handling a Galapagos, he had handled many ordinary crocodiles before, so the difference between the two was not significant. "Alright, time's up, please enjoy, Mr. Qianyi." As Longden spoke, he cut off a large piece of grilled alligator meat and handed it to Qianyi. Qianyi's mind was completely focused on the roasted meat, and he had no time to pay attention to Longden's teasing. He picked up a piece of meat, blew on it twice, and then put it in his mouth. Instantly, a rich aroma filled my mouth. The meat juices filled my mouth, with not a trace of any unpleasant smell. It's hard to imagine that the meat of a Galapagos, an omnivorous creature, could be so delicious. Furthermore, this roasted meat requires almost no chewing. It melts in your mouth with just a gentle touch of your tongue, far surpassing a 5-grade meat. After tasting it, Qianyi picked up the remaining meat and ate it in large bites. Close your eyes and savor this unique flavor. A system notification sounded in his mind. Ding. Cell level increased, current level 38. It jumped 6 levels in one go. No wonder it's one of the top-tier meats in the human realm. It's so delicious you should try the gentian too. Good. After tasting the gentian, they were also amazed by its deliciousness. Hee, that's not enough at all, bake a little more. Just as Qianyi and Longden were enjoying their meal, Luffy and his crew drawn by the Aramarived, barbecue. I want barbecue. Luffy stared at the grilled meat in front of Qianyi, his mouth watering and his eyes gleaming green. Before even landing on the barren islands, Luffy was already hungry, and the battle he had just fought had also drained a lot of his energy. Driven by hunger, charged straight at the barbecue, with Sanji and the others unable to stop him. Luffy won't do it, that's someone else's food. Come back quickly, Luffy, you're going to die. When I was watching the anime before, I really disliked Luffy's behavior of not caring about others and only thinking about filling his own stomach. They frequently stole food from the ship, leaving others hungry and causing a series of troubles. Now they're trying to steal my food. In this age of culinary delights, stealing food from others is considered more serious than simply robbing them of money. Qianyi's face immediately darkened. Stealing food. Do you think this is the Red Earth continent, however? Luffy was completely deaf to anyone's words at this moment, drooling as he swung his right hand around. Rubber. Luffy's arm stretched out like putty, reaching straight for the roasted meat on the ham. Ah, my arm has suddenly grown longer. Kobayashi Rindu exclaimed in surprise. Luffy doesn't have a gourmet cell, but he ate a devil fruit, which gives him the ability to stretch and bounce any part of his body as he pleases. Devil fruit's something worth studying, but your abilities are simply not enough to impress you. Qianyi seized Luffy's outstretched arm and pulled hard, throwing Luffy out of the way. Banged. Luffy's body slammed into a big tree, bounced off, and rolled several times before coming to a stop. Luffy's eyes cleared a bit, but they were still fixed on the roasting meat on the fire, with drool dripping from the corner of his mouth. He was really hungry, you rude scoundrel. Qianyi snorted at Luffy and then sat back down in his original seat. Solo and Upso rushed over and helped Luffy up. Luffy, are you out of your mind? You actually went and stole this person's food. Usopp's voice trembled as he looked at Qianyi. His eyes filled with fear. Usopp nearly became Gaara's meal after trespassing into Gaara's territory, but he managed to escape by feigning death. Qianyi had just arrived and was fighting the Gala crocodile when he witnessed the entire process. The image of killing the Garuda with a single blow still lingered in his mind. Usopp was certain that if Qianyi had murderous intent, none of them would escape. After Qianyi sat down, his gaze fell on Nami, who was being helped by Sanji, and he said, Although the poison has been neutralized, she needs to replenish her nutrition to fully recover. The essence of good food is not only its taste, but also the joy of sharing it with others. You and you, come and try some Galakron meat. It's on me today, Qianyi invited Nami, Sanji, Zoro and Usopp, but ignored Luffy, who was drooling on the side gurgle. Luffy stared at the roasting meat on the firewood pile. Inhaling the Aramond, kept swallowing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sanji and Usopp immediately expressed their gratitude. Even Zoro, for the first time ever, said thank you, glanced sympathetically at Luffy beside him, and then picked up the Galactus meat and started eating it in large bites. Sanji helped Nami sit down, although he was very hungry. He first brought the grilled Galakrons to Nami. Nami, you eat first. Nami was still in a weak state, so she nodded, took the grilled meat and started eating. Once she took a bite, she couldn't stop. Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp then tasted it, and after finishing, they couldn't help but look up at the sky and shout, "So delicious, this is the best barbecue I've ever had. It's so much better than Sanji's." Usopp, shut up. Seeing how ravenously the group was devouring their food, Qianyi couldn't help but nod and smile. Sharing food with others occasionally is a good idea. After everyone had finished eating, Qianyi allowed Luffy to sit down and eat with them. Luffy is like a reincarnated ravenous ghost. He just can't stop eating. If Qianyi hadn't stopped him, he probably would have eaten the rest of the Galapagos meat. After everyone had eaten and drunk their fill, only 1/3 of the original Galapagos was left. While eating Galactus meat, Nami's complexion recovered at a visible speed. Her face, which was originally pale due to poisoning, became rosy, and she became very energetic. After eating, I had fully recovered. Nami is the same age as Kobayashi Rindu, has brown eyes and beautiful short orange, and a curvaceous figure that can be described as devilish. Men, after all, like to look at beautiful women, and Qianyi was no exception, so he couldn't help but take a few more glances. When Kobayashi Rindu noticed Chihiro's gaze as he looked at Nami, he simply smiled and said nothing more. "Mr. Qianyi, thank you again for saving my life." Nami approached Qianyi and bowed to express her gratitude. In the instant he bent down, Qianyi saw the scenery of Nami Valley. No need to thank me after all. I've already received your payment. Qianyi shifted his gaze from Nami to the Garuda beside him and said, "Let's go back to your red line, a place you are not yet capable of venturing into." Upon hearing this, Nami looked troubled and said, "We want to go back too, but we don't have a map of this world." Nami is the navigator of the Straw Hat crew. She is proficient in meteorology and navigation, can sense the weather with her body, and perfectly indicates the route. She is a genius navigator who can draw accurate nautical charts. Even she would have difficulty finding a way back to the red line without a map of the food world. She was afraid of making the same mistake again and experiencing the same situation as before. "A map." I brought one. As he spoke, Kobayashi Rindu took out a complete world map from his backpack and handed it to Nami. Nami took the map and unfolded it to examine it in detail. On the map of the food prisoner world, you can clearly see that they are located on the red line, which is situated on the edge of the human world, near the barren islands. Upon seeing this world map, Nami felt as if she had discovered a new continent. So the world is this big. The map I drew before was only a tiny part of this world. Nami exclaimed in shock. Qianyi wasn't surprised. This world was originally set against the backdrop of the Gluttony world. Not just the One Piece world, but also other worlds that had been incorporated into it. Looking at the world map in front of her, Nami suddenly felt like a frog in a well. Nami's gaze swept across the map, her heart filled with longing for the unknown world. "Qianyi, just how big is this world? What places haven't we discovered yet?" Nami asked, looking up. Qianyi smiled slightly and pointed to a corner of the map. "Look. There is a place marked Unknown Area here. That is the Gourmet world. This map only shows the human world, which occupies less than 3/10 of the planet's area. Nami's eyes widened, her curiosity growing stronger. She imagined that unknown world, feeling both excited and nervous. Not only Nami but Luffy also got excited. There are so many interesting places. There must be lots of treasures there, Luffy exclaimed. Qianyi glanced at Luffy and immediately poured cold water on him, saying there are indeed many treasures. But with your current strength, you'll be dead before you even figure out where the gourmet world is. Strawberry and her group had to face reality. The Barren Islands are only one of the lowest-level dangerous zones in the human world. Even so, they were almost wiped out. They couldn't even imagine other, more dangerous places. After chatting for another hour, the transport plane dispatched by the Gourmet Hotel, specially designed for transporting huge beasts, arrived in the Barren Islands. After saying goodbye to the Straw Hat crew, he boarded a transport plane and left the Barren Islands. Qianyi and Kobayashi Rinden's exploration of the Barren Islands has come to an end, and they have successfully completed their mission. The encounter with the Straw Hat crew prompted Qianyi to ponder deeply about devil fruits. Devil fruits are mysterious fruits that have only been discovered in the country of the Red Line. They are known as the treasures of the sea and the embodiment of sea demons. Consuming them grants different abilities but as a price. The consumer is rejected by the sea and becomes a landlubber. Devil fruit abilities are divided into three main categories: Paramecia, Zone and Logia. The Zone category is further divided into two subcategories: mythical beasts and ancient beasts. The advantages are obvious: one can gain one or more abilities. The disadvantage is that different ability users will have different weaknesses. In the world of food fetishists, devil fruits would be considered a special ingredient. If chefs were to process them, could they refine them to their full potential? Or could regenerators perform regeneration to create perfect replicas of devil fruits? If one could obtain the perfect devil fruit, combined with the power of gourmet cells, wouldn't that be? One idea after another arose in Qianyi's mind. By handing over the remaining third of the Galapagos meat to the Gourmet Hotel, Qianyi successfully completed this main quest. Ding! Congratulations on completing the main quest, the Grand Gourmet Hotel's request. Food points plus 100, reputation points plus 80. And talent stone x1. Ding! This week's tasks are complete. New tasks will be refreshed next Monday, please check back. Tensho Divine Stone Quality, Special Item Host Only. Acquisition Method Main Quest. Description: a stone containing magical power. You can choose one of your talents below the master level to raise its level by 1. As expected of the item given as the first main quest reward. It's a really good item. Qianyi currently possesses 2 innate abilities: basic food skills and intermediate acupoint techniques. The levels of both talent abilities are not high, so using the talent stone now will not maximize the benefits. After thinking it over, Qianyi decided not to use it yet, but to wait until a certain talent ability reached the advanced level before using it. This way, he could directly upgrade to the master level and maximize the benefits of the item. Qianyi had estimated that the task of capturing the Galatea would take about a week, but it was completed in just 2 days. The task will not be refreshed again until next week. Kobayashi Rindu returned to Tatsuki the day after completing the mission. As one of the 10 heroes, Qianyi had endless work to handle every day, which she understood on the night before leaving. The two shared another passionate encounter. During the mission cooldown, Qianyi didn't rest either, continuing to search for information about gourmet jellyfish. 5 days later, Qianyi appeared in a city in the central region of the human world. The central wholesale market for food is a hub for all kinds of delicious ingredients from around the world, earning it the nickname Kitchen of the World. Covering an area of 3,000 hectares, it imports 900,000 tons of food daily, with a transaction volume of 1 trillion yen, making it a veritable monster market. This central wholesale market for food, which has been dubbed the Kitchen of the World, is more bustling than one can imagine. If you want to find out about delicious jellyfish, This is the place to go, it's really far. It took 2 days to get here from Tokyo. The world is too big, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Qianyi muttered to herself as she walked into the food wholesale market. As expected of the world's #1 trading market. Upon entering, Gon is greeted by all kinds of ingredients. The variety is dazzling and overwhelming. The stalls were filled with fresh seafood. From huge whales to tiny shrimp. There was something for everyone. Some of the ferocious beasts were still alive. Captured and acupunctured by skilled gourmet hunters. And then brought here by merchants. The stall owners were skilled at arranging their goods while loudly hawking their wares. Their voices rising and falling in a cacophony. A silver king crab bidding begins. The price is currently 7 million yen, anyone else bidding? Anyone else, okay? The 200-kilogram silver king crab has been sold for 7 million yen to Mr. Buddy bidder number 502 upon entering the market. Qianyi witnessed an auction of food ingredients. In the central wholesale market for food. Not all ingredients are fixedly priced. Some rare and high-end ingredients are sold through bidding. Next up is the Earth Dragon Turtle. A capture level 2 creature. It has already been anesthetized. Bidding starts at 100,000 yen, let's begin. After the stall owner made the announcement, the diners below began to scramble to raise their prices. 120,000 yen, I'll offer 150,000 yen. Qianyi glanced at the ingredients up for auction today. Most of them were common ingredients, with only a few being relatively rare. And their capture level was 5 or higher. These ingredients don't help with his food sense. Taking pictures of them serves no purpose other than satisfying a craving. The level of one's culinary skills is not necessarily improved by eating ingredients one has never tasted before. A certain compatibility is also required. It can also be understood that everyone's food sense has favorite flavors and dislikes. And as long as the flavor of the ingredients is not too bad, it will improve to some extent. If the ingredients are to your liking and have the flavor that cells love most, they can significantly improve cell quality and even break down the barriers that cells need to overcome. Simply looking is not an effective method. So Qianyi looked around and asked questions, trying to find information about gourmet jellyfish from these stall owners. Gourmet jellyfish. Isn't that an ingredient discovered by the god of food? It only exists in legends, it's impossible. I see, thank you for letting me know, gourmet jellyfish. Never heard of it, never heard of it. I asked more than a dozen stall owners, and only 2 of them had heard of the rumors about the gourmet jellyfish. The others had never heard of the existence of this ingredient. Qianyi did not give up. She went to a stall that was doing good business and politely asked, "Boss, can I ask you about an ingredient?" "Yes, please go ahead." The grocery store owner spoke without turning around, and didn't see Qianyi's face. "Have you ever heard of delicious jellyfish as an ingredient?" Upon hearing this, the ingredient vendor immediately turned around. "You mean gourmet jellyfish? Of course I do." "Ah, you're the gourmet hunter Qianyi." After completing the task entrusted by the gourmet hotel, Qianyi's reputation increased again. Several of the dozen or so ingredient shop owners he had just asked knew his name. "Yes, I am Qianyi, a gourmet hunter. And I am seeking information about gourmet jellyfish." Qianyi said, "Gourmet jellyfish, I've heard some rumors about it. It's said that Acacia discovered this ingredient in the deep sea 500 years ago." The information revealed by the food vendor was similar to what Qianyi had learned from the anime. However, this ingredient has never been available in the market. At least not in the decades I've been here. "You might be disappointed," the ingredient shop owner said. Upon hearing this, Qianyi couldn't help but feel disappointed. "Thank you for letting me know." Just as Qianyi was about to turn and leave, a voice came from behind him, "Gourmet jellyfish. A legendary phantom ingredient. Once commissioned by a tycoon for 10 billion yen. Qianyi immediately turned around. A tall man in a black suit and sunglasses walked up to him. The man had his hair slicked back and looked serious. Mr. Johans, it's been a long time. Johans, Director of Food Development at IG, is one of IGO's top executives. Qianyi had met him once while completing a commission task. Johans raised his hand and gently pushed up his sunglasses, a hint of unfathomable light in his eyes. He looked Qianyi up and down and said, "It's been half a year since we last met. I didn't expect you to have grown to such a level in just half a year. You truly deserve to be called a rising star among gourmet hunters. Mr. John, you're too modest. I'm far inferior to you. Do you know anything about the gourmet jellyfish?" Qianyi asked. Johans cautiously looked around to make sure no one was eavesdropping before lowering his voice and slowly saying, "This ingredient may be available at this year's International Gourmet Auction." An international food auction, yes. This is a large auction held by IGO every year, where heads of state, chefs and food critics gather to compete for some rare ingredients. Johans glanced at the food wholesale market in front of him and continued. Unlike the ingredients in the food wholesale market, the ingredients at the auction are all rare and top quality. It's not impossible to find a mythical ingredient like the gourmet jellyfish. You can only try your luck, although the chances are slim. Qianyi decides to give it a try. Mr. John, when does the auction begin? In half a month. But the condition for participating in the auction is to become an IGO VIP member. Qianyi immediately fell silent. He was not a member. Johan saw through Qianyi's thoughts and immediately added, IGO's VIP membership is only open to the heads of state of member countries and those who have made outstanding contributions to IGO. Currently, only a few gourmet hunters have obtained this qualification. With your strength, Qianyi, it's naturally not a problem. But your contribution level is a bit lacking. If you can complete this mission, perhaps it will be a task assigned. Qianyi's eyes lit up. Today was the day the missions refreshed. Yes, in fact. I've been troubled by this recently. Because only a powerful gourmet hunter like you can complete this task. I am willing to share your troubles, Mr. John, please speak freely, Johans then said. The rainbow fruits in the courtyard are ripe and need to be picked. Rainbow fruit, Qianyi was taken aback. This was another ingredient mentioned in detail in the original work. After alligator, Galactus is a ferocious beast, while rainbow fruit is a real food ingredient that greatly benefits the evolution of gourmet cells. Rainbow fruit, also known as the dream fruit. It is a dreamlike fruit whose flavor changes to 7 colors depending on the temperature and humidity. It is said that a drop of its juice can turn the water in a 25-meter swimming pool into a rich and fragrant juice. The price of one fruit can provide a person with enough wealth to last a lifetime. Legend has it that the rainbow fruit has become extinct in nature. But now it's growing in IGO's garden, which means its regeneration has been successful. Qianyi said this is an improved variety, and the taste may not be as good as the all-natural kind, but it is still an extremely precious ingredient. The problem now is that Trokong has recently built a nest on the rainbow fruit tree. So no one can get close, the strongest gorilla Trokong, although it deployed a 2 billion yen food tank a few days ago, was completely overturned. That tank weighed 40 tons, Johan said. After hearing this, Qianyi nodded to himself. This mission was originally accepted by Toriko, and this scene also appears in the anime. Due to the ripple effect of the mission entrusted by Gala Crocodile, this mission has now also been assigned to Qianyi. Undoubtedly this kind of request, which is within our capabilities, a great thing, especially since we can also get news of delicious jellyfish after it is completed. Even though this task is very difficult to complete, Qianyi has to bite the bullet and accept it. No problem, I'll take this commission. The Bureau has issued a capture rating of 9, which is higher than that of the Galapagos. Furthermore, the Trojan is a social animal, Johan said seriously. A single level 9 beast is easy to deal, but a group of them is much more difficult. Qianyi understood this and nodded emphatically. Mr. John, please rest assured I will definitely complete this task. After the task is completed, please allow me to join the IGO membership and participate in this year's auction. I will take care of it for you. When shall we depart for the courtyard? Johans asked. Qianyi thought for a moment and said, Let me prepare tomorrow mornings. Okay, I'll pick you up tomorrow. After reaching an agreement with Johans, Qianyi strolled around the wholesale market for a while, bought some ingredients she wanted to eat, and then checked into a 5-star hotel. In the hotel room at night after taking a shower, Qianyi took out her phone and video called Kobayashi Rindu, telling her about her plan to capture the rainbow fruit the next day. On the other side of the video, Kobayashi Rindu, wearing pink pajamas and applying a face mask, couldn't help but worry after hearing Qianyi's words, honestly. It's always this kind of dangerous mission. I know you're very capable, but please be careful and don't push yourself too hard. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I can't take you this time, you just arrived from Tatsuki. It'll probably be several days before you come. Qianyi said. Genshin removed the face mask from her face. Her expression slightly somber. Well, be careful on your own for a regular daytime quest. Kobayashi Rindu would have insisted on going along, but this time he listened quietly. Qianyi knew that she was blaming herself again, as her partner for not being able to help at this time. Genshin, I also have some good news for you. I've found out about the gourmet jellyfish. If all goes well, you won't have to wait long to have gourmet cells too. Qianyi said, changing the subject. Kobayashi Rindu knew that Chia had been worried about her gourmet cells, and she was even more moved when she heard this. At this moment, all the words in my heart were reflected in those watery eyes. Qianyi, thank you for having me in your hearts. You're my wife, of course I'll always keep you in my heart. Oh, and also, accepting this mission means you'll have to cook the rainbow fruit. So get ready, rainbow fruit should make a decent dessert. But I'm not very good at making desserts. Oh right, I can ask Momo for help, who is Xiaotao. After Qianyi finished chatting with Longden, he opened the task panel as expected. The task has been refreshed, and it is related to the rainbow fruit ingredient for this mission. Johans's request, main quest. Introduction following the Galakron's request. The host has received Igo's second request. The difficulty of the task has increased. Please proceed with caution, as failure will affect the acquisition of subsequent main quests. Rewards: food points plus 150, reputation plus 120. 7-colored glass cup, X1. What a generous reward. There are also item rewards. What kind of prop is this 7-colored glass cup? Qianyi was very curious, but unfortunately he hadn't completed the task and couldn't see the information about this item. The following day, a black gourmet car was parked in the parking lot to the right of the hotel entrance. The gourmet car, also known as the Igo gourmet car, is produced and manufactured by Igo. The vehicle is at least 10 meters long, with a spacious and comfortable rear. Like a family living room, food, wine, and snacks are always provided on board for passengers. It is generally used when Igo is receiving important guests. Beside the car stood a man in a black suit, handsome and composed. As Qianyi walked out of the hotel entrance, she saw Johans and hurriedly went up to him, saying, Mr. Johans, I feel so bad that you had to come and pick me up in person. This is within my job responsibilities, and this mission is very important. I don't trust anyone else with it. Please get in the car. Johans said, opening the back door. Thank you. Qianyi got into the car without any hesitation. Johans then got into the car, fastened his seatbelt, started the engine, and the car smoothly drove out of the hotel parking lot. Habitat gardens are natural ecological reserves established by the IGO. There are 8 of them in the human world, encompassing various natural environments, and numbered from 1 to 8, from Habitat 1 to Habitat 8. The aim is to protect the environment and maintain ecological balance, with each habitat having a more detailed division of labor. For example, the 8th habitat, besides regenerating some plants and animals, synthetic beasts, is mainly responsible for food processing on a daily basis. Habitat 8, a natural ecological reserve, is the least dangerous of the 8 habitats. Yet it is here that fantastical ingredients like rainbow fruit are cultivated. Sitting in the food truck, Qianyi looked at the food prepared on the table and, without any hesitation, picked up an almond cabbage and started eating. No matter when I eat almond cabbage, I can't help but praise its flavor. The strong almond taste combined with the sweet green vegetable flavor makes a satisfying crunch in your mouth. Although it's only a level 1 catch, the overall taste is comparable to higher-level ingredients. This food is not bad, Qianyi savored the food. Occasionally chatting with Johans, Mr. John. Is this how you usually work, finding reliable gourmet hunters to complete Igo's requests? Johans, with his hands on the steering wheel and eyes fixed on the road ahead, replied it's not just that occasionally. We also control the prices of ingredients at the central food wholesale market. Some vendors arbitrarily raise prices to maximize their profits, which gives us a headache. And these commission tasks aren't always available. They only come occasionally, I see. Igo himself must have many gourmet hunters, or even stronger ones than me. Like the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet. The fact that both of my recent commissions came to me from Igo is too much of a coincidence. Qianyi is famous now, but compared to a top-tier gourmet hunter like Toriko, he's far behind, of course. Qianyi would love for Igo to entrust her with this task every time. So she was just asking out of curiosity. Upon hearing Qianyi mention the 4 heavenly kings of gourmet food, Johans couldn't help but sigh. If only the 4 heavenly kings were like you right now. Of the 4 heavenly kings, only Toriko is still working as a gourmet hunter. The other 3 have either retired or are in gourmet prison. If that's the case, why didn't you look for Toriko for this mission? To be honest, I originally planned to entrust this mission to Toriko. But I happened to hear you inquiring about gourmet jellyfish at the food wholesale market. In addition, you did a great job capturing the Galapagos a few days ago. So I decided to give it to you. After Johans finished speaking, he added in his mind, Toriko's commission fee is too expensive. Recently, the research department, Village 8, has been seriously short of funds. Every little bit saved counts. I am deeply grateful for Mr. John's kindness. However, I have one more request regarding this mission. Go ahead and tell me before long. The food truck stopped in front of the entrance to Habitat 8. This is a specially designed gate, over 500 meters high and 20 meters thick, designed to protect against attacks from wild beasts. It is connected to the walls on both sides, enclosing Habitat 8. On either side of the gate stood a guard dressed in Igo military uniform. Qianyi and Johans stepped out of the food truck, and one of the guards whose face was scarred approached them after giving Johans a military salute. He said Lord Johans. Johans nodded, pointed to Qianyi beside him and said open the door. He is Qianyi, the gourmet hunter I commissioned to capture the rainbow fruit. The guard glanced at Qianyi and thought to himself, he's so young, clearly he did not know Qianyi. The soldiers guarding the habitat are unable to leave their posts year-round and are unaware of what is happening in the outside world. Qianyi is a rising star in the past year, so it's not surprising that they haven't heard of him. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't speak right now. Qianyi looked at the guard with a puzzled expression. The guard explained, there are regulations for Habitat 8. If there is a predator of level 5 or higher within a 5-kilometer radius from the gate, the gate cannot be opened, although it is estimated that no animal can cross the moat. It is just in case. So that means there are ferocious beasts within range right now. Qianyi asked, that's right, just 10 minutes ago. We received a message from the Research Institute's monitoring tower that a Trojan had run to the inside of the door. No sooner had the guard finished speaking than the sound of drums came from inside the gate. Qianyi knew that this was Tiro King Kong provoking him. The sound just now came from a threatening gesture unique to gorillas thumping their chests, by continuously pounding their chests to produce a sound like beating a drum. They aim to intimidate the enemy. Keep in mind that this wall is 20 meters thick. Yet the sound of someone pounding their chest can still be heard, which shows just how powerful the troll King Kong is. Most animals, upon hearing this sound, would be so frightened that they would run away with their heads in their hands. Seeing that he couldn't open the door, Johan said to Qianyi, "Qianyi, we can only wait until Trogon lives before going in. Or we can wait until tomorrow." Qianyi looked at the tall defensive gate in front of him and said, "Now that we're here, there's no reason for us to go back. Are you trying to intimidate us by beating your chest?" "I'll join in too," Qianyi let out a low shout. Culinary skills chopsticks immediately, to the astonishment of John Reese and the guards. 2 golden chopsticks each over 5 meters long materialized in midair in ancient Daxia. There was a percussion instrument called wonkin. That's achieved by tapping 2 chopsticks on a ceramic bowl to produce a rhythmic sound, like a musical instrument. The bowl zither is therefore also called the bowl chopstick zither. Chinese letter refers to chopsticks. There were no ceramic bowls here at this moment. And even if there were, they wouldn't withstand the impact of such huge chopsticks. What Qianyi wanted to do was not to create beautiful music, but to create a threatening sound, the threatening sound chopsticks. "Stay away and cover your ears." After Qianyi finished speaking to Johans and the other 2, he raised his left and right hands to control the 2 golden chopsticks. The chopsticks paused briefly in the air before slamming them down onto the ground. Bang! The chopsticks struck the ground with a dull thud, and the energy generated swept inwards from the doorway like a shockwave. As Qianyi's right hand struck with increasing amplitude, the sound grew louder and the noise became more and more intense. It's like someone holding a paddle, constantly splashing ripples on a calm surface of water. Although the sound lasted only a few seconds, it had a tremendous impact on Johans and the 2 guards. How was that intimidating sound chopsticks just now? "Not bad, right?" Qianyi put away her chopsticks and said to Johans and the guards who were still covering their ears, "It's been a long time since I used this trick. And I'm off key." Johans then removed his hands from his ears. His face still showing surprise and asked Qianyi, "Was that chopstick your food war weapon?" "Yes, how is it?" "Not bad, Mr. John," Qianyi said with a smile, "as far as I know. The only gourmet hunters who can use food-based weapons are the 4 heavenly kings. Your strength is even greater than I imagined. I'm glad I didn't choose the wrong person this time." Johans. Qianyi felt something was off when she heard this. Was she worried that she wouldn't be able to complete the task? "By the way, could you please notify the guards on his side to check if Trogon has left?" Qianyi said. The guards were surprised that this young gourmet hunter possessed such strength. This terrifying power is comparable to Toriko's. "Okay, I'll notify them immediately." As expected of a veteran with rich experience, he quickly regained his composure 1 minute later. The guards made contact with the watchtower and confirmed that Trogon was far away. "Lord Qianyi, I will open the door for you right away. Thank you for your understanding." The guard's attitude towards Qianyi changed noticeably, and they even added the honorific Sir after his name. This is the principle of might makes right. And the same applies to the world of food wars. Those with strength are always respected, based on the strength Qianyi just displayed. Even if he wanted to force his way in, they wouldn't be able to stop him. This is troublesome. Qianyi nodded. The 2 guards then used their retinal sensors to unlock the gate. Gaga gaga, a dull thud sounded, and 2 large doors made of heavy metal slowly opened. The faint light filtering through the crack in the door gradually spread out, illuminating Qianyi and the 2 soldiers' faces. As the gate opened, a spacious and secluded passage appeared before us. The 8th habitat is right before our eyes. "Lord Qianyi, please come in. May your culinary fortune be prosperous." The 2 soldiers saluted Qianyi and said, "Thank you for your blessings, Mr. John. I'll go in first. I will definitely capture the rainbow fruit. But don't forget our promise," Qianyi said. John Reese nodded habitually, pushing up his glasses, and said, "I won't forget, don't worry." "Good." After saying that, Qianyi walked into the 8th realm without looking back. After Qianyi entered, the door closed again. As Qianyi stepped into the courtyard, she smelled a rich aroma in the air. This is the aroma of the rainbow fruit after it has ripened, which is so enchanting that it is hard not to be captivated by it. It smells so good, I really want to try it right away. The reason why Trogopter builds its nest on the rainbow fruit tree is to use the ripe rainbow fruit to attract other animals. Rainbow fruits emit a sweet aroma as they grow, and this aroma intensifies when they ripen, causing any creature that smells them to lose its senses. The carnivorous trogs do not eat the rainbow fruit. Their purpose is to devour any creatures that come near because of it. This also shows that the Torokono is quite intelligent and has already developed human-like thinking. When Qianyi first smelled this fragrance, he was so captivated that he lingered for a moment. But this brief moment of distraction caused him to fall into the trap that Tiro King Kong had dug in advance. This is a large pit more than 5 meters deep. And there are also poisonous snakes that Trogon threw in. Not only are they powerful, but they also know how to use traps, which makes them quite troublesome. Qianyi regained her senses and quickly jumped out of the pit. The moment he jumped out, he was met with an attack from Trogon. Then Tiro King Kong leaped into the air, each of his 4 thick arms gripping a huge rock, and slammed it down hard on Qianyi. You were the one who was threatening me with your chest pounding just now, weren't you? Qianyi raised her hands, and the 2 chopsticks were instantly swung out. A pair of chopsticks like spears pierced through the center of the boulder and exploded in midair the next second. Before the troll King Kong could react, Qianyi swung out another thin chopstick. Acupressure with chopsticks. The chopsticks pierced one spot in the body of the Torokan. Immediately, the massive body of the troll King Kong collapsed to the ground, unable to move. This is a move that Qianyi learned after upgrading his talent ability Acupoint Strike to Intermediate. Basic Acupoint Striking only requires hitting the creature's body with your fingertips to succeed, while Intermediate Acupoint Striking can be achieved remotely using food-based weapons. Advanced levels and above can also provide local anesthesia. In the original work, Gyro, one of the world's strongest men and a master of anesthesia, can anesthetize tsunamistafoons, and even stop the earth from rotating, which is extremely exaggerated. Qianyi's acupoint striking technique was only at a basic level, but it was more than enough to deal with a creature like the Trojan King Kong. You naughty boy, just sleep here for a few hours. You'll be free once the anesthesia wears off. The Trog is not only intelligent enough to approach human intelligence, but it is also a pack of ferocious beasts with a strict hierarchical system within its pack. This guy who was anesthetized by Qianyi was just a sentinel sent by the clan. Qianyi remained vigilant, avoiding falling into the trap of the Trigango clan, and soon arrived at the place where the rainbow fruit grew, which was also the habitat of the Trigango clan. The rainbow fruit grows on a mountaintop, surrounded by at least 40 Torokans with such a large number. Dealing with them all is simply impossible, since they are both social creatures and belong to a hierarchical system. There must be a leader among these Trojans. Qianyi's gaze swept quickly across the area, and he soon spotted a white-furred Tiro Kong on the hilltop. Silverback is the name of this Trojan, capture level 10. The fur of an adult Trojan is light green, but it turns white as it ages, as a leader of the tribe. He commands the tribe with his strong arms and wisdom gained from years of experience. However, due to his excessive intelligence, he is overly sensitive to crisis management and will immediately lose his will to fight when faced with an opponent stronger than himself. Taking advantage of this, Qianyi planned to capture the leader first. Although Qianyi had been discovered by the Troking clan long ago, they were completely powerless against him. Qianyi moved like a dragon's, weaving among the many Tiro Vajras, while simultaneously using chopsticks to apply pressure points and anesthetize several of them. Soon Qianyi arrived in front of Silverback, gathering all his aura into one point, and exerting great intimidation. With the Silverback surrendering, the Tiro King Kong group dared not attack Qianyi again. completely submitting without the threat of the Torikono. Capturing the rainbow fruit became extremely easy. After taming the Tiro Kong tribe, Qianyi withdrew his aura and turned his gaze to the rainbow fruit on the mountaintop. On the rainbow fruit tree, 7 large rainbow fruits were hanging. The fruit gleams with a jewel-like luster, refracting 7 colors of light under the sunlight, making it incredibly beautiful. Moreover, the sunlight allowed the fruit to photosynthesize, making its aroma even stronger than before. Qianyi's food cells reacted strongly, surpassing any food he had captured before, and saliva kept dripping from the corners of his mouth. This reaction is absolutely correct. It's an indispensable ingredient for my culinary soul. Qianyi suppressed her appetite and picked the 3 rainbow fruits. Wow! The troll sold by Silverback let out a low growl of grievance when they saw Qianyi pick 3 rainbow fruits in a row. Qianyi knew what they were trying to say, and couldn't help but smile. I know you need rainbow fruits to attract wild beasts. This is your food source for survival. So I won't take them all, I'll take 3 and leave you 4. Is that all right? Roared. This time the Troll King Kongs roared with gratitude. A single rainbow fruit is nearly 4 meters in diameter, and it would be difficult for one person to carry all 3 fruits away. So Qianyi called John Reese and asked him to find someone to take the fruit away. The rainbow fruit has already been captured. John Reese on the other end of the phone was surprised. He knew that Qianyi was capable of capturing the rainbow fruit, but he did not expect it to be so fast, taking only 3 hours. If I come straight here, won't I be attacked by the Trojan? John Reese worried. I have tamed the Trojans. They will not attack me while I am here. I will send you my location. I'm coming right away. 10 minutes later, a food delivery plane appeared in the sky. The plane then slowly descended, and the trolls wisely cleared a space for the plane to land safely. John Reese and 2 members of Habitat 8 stepped off the plane and were taken aback by the astonishing number of Trojans. John Reese saw the silverback covered in white fur and guessed what was going on here. It's truly remarkable that you were able to tame their leader without harming a single Trojan. You've completed this mission exceptionally well. John Reese praised Qianyi. Qianyi stroked the fur of a Trojan kingfisher beside him and said with a smile, "There's a certain element of luck involved. Trojan kingfishers are primates and have intelligence that's comparable to humans. Just negotiate with them properly." John Reese did not speak in his heart, however. He was marveling at how simple Qianyi's words were, asking how many people could actually do it. In addition, Qianyi was able to complete the mission so quickly due to both his own strength and his kindness as a gourmet hunter. During the capture of the rainbow fruit, not a single beast was harmed at most. They were only paralyzed. Silverback knew these things, which is why it gave in so easily. If there are casualties within the community, it will be a different story, Mr. John. I'm entrusting all 3 rainbow fruits to you. Please don't forget our agreement, Qianyi reminded him. Yes, I will deliver the rainbow fruit safely to Tokyo. As for the auction, I can only guarantee the market price. John Reese said, adjusting his glasses. That's enough. Do you want to go back to Tokyo together? Thank you for your kindness, Mr. John. I plan to stay for a couple more days if possible. I would like to visit the research department of Habitat 8. After thinking for a moment, Johans nodded in agreement and said okay. That day, Qianyi by Johans visited various departments of Habitat 8, including the research and production departments, and gained a deeper understanding of IGO. That evening, Qianyi returned to her hotel. Open the task panel again. Johans's request completed. Reward to be claimed. Claim your reward. Dings. Congratulations to the host for completing the main quest. Johans's request. Food points plus 150, reputation points plus 120. And you have obtained 7 colored glass cup, X1. Ding, this week's tasks are complete. New tasks will be refreshed next Monday, please check back. Having received the mission reward, Qianyi went to the system inventory and immediately checked the items she had just obtained. In the system's inventory space, There lay a colorful and dazzling device. 7-colored glass cup. Quality premium kitchenware not bound. Acquisition method main quest. Description: a special container for holding food. Capable of preserving its flavor for a long time and preventing it from losing its deliciousness. It is said that if the food is paired with a suitable ingredient, it can even enhance the flavor, taking the taste to a whole new level. Note: non-bound items cannot be returned once removed from the system inventory. Kitchenware corresponds to talent skills and cooking skill level. And there are 5 levels according to quality: common, advanced, perfect, excellent, and divine kitchenware. Qianyi was startled when he saw it. It turned out to be a top-quality kitchen utensil. A priceless treasure. This explanation might not convey the value of premium kitchenware. The kitchen knife crafted by Melker, the world's #1 knifesmith, is currently the most expensive one on the market. Valued at 2 billion yen, its quality is only perfect, let alone the top-quality kitchenware in front of us. As for the divine kitchenware, Qianyi has never seen it before, and has only heard that the head chef of the Gourmet Association has one. Qianyi took the 7-colored glazed glass cup out of the system space and examined it carefully in his hand. The cup's walls are as thin as a cicada's wing, and when the light shines through, you can see the colorful patterns inside: red, yellow, green, blue, white, purple, and gold. There are 7 colors, each representing one of the 7 elements of the universe. Holding it in my hands, a cool sensation travels through the cup to my palm. Qianyi didn't know much about kitchenware, and in his opinion, this kitchenware was nothing special except for being pretty. Since it's a kitchen utensil, let a professional chef use it. Let's give it to Genshin. It's rare for a system item to be non-bound, and Genshin will definitely like this beautiful kitchen utensil. Qianyi couldn't help but smile when she thought of how happy Longden would be after receiving her gift. 3 days later, Qianyi boarded a helicopter from the 8th habitat and landed in the mountainous area of Tatsuki Academy. Lord Qianyi, I wish you continued good fortune in your food business. Thank you for your hard work. If you run into Mr. John when you get back, please tell him thank you for me. I will definitely pass it on. Qianyi watched the helicopter disappear into the sky before turning and walking towards the villa complex in the mountainous area. 10 minutes later, inside a villa. Qianyi, you're finally back, tilde. As Qianyi pushed open the villa's door, she was greeted by a big hug from Kobayashi Rindu. I miss you so much. Qianyi could feel Longden's deep longing and love for him. So he picked her up and carried her around the waist. Then what are we waiting for? Although I really want to taste the rainbow fruit now, I want to taste you even more as an appetizer. After saying that, Qianyi walked towards the bedroom. Longden was stunned for a moment, then blushed and struggled in Qianyi's arms, saying, quick. Put me down, not now. Why not? Are you on your period? The timing is wrong. Last month it was the 20th. And today is only the beginning of the month. Genshin's face turned completely red, down to the base of her neck, before she could explain. Qianyi had already carried her from the front door to the living room. As Qianyi passed the living room, Safash suddenly stopped. On the sofa sat a purple-haired girl holding a plush toy. The girl was petite, and her purple hair was styled into bunny ears, forehead. Qianyi looked at the cute purple-haired girl in front of him with some embarrassment. Rinden awkwardly broke free from Chia's embrace, then looked at the purple-clad girl on the sofa and explained. This is my good friend Akinkubo Momo, who is in the same grade as me. She is one of the elite 10 of Tatsuki Academy and currently holds the 4th seat. Momo Akinkubo, it was her. No wonder she looked so familiar. She appears in several episodes of the Food Wars anime. If I remember correctly, her specialty is desserts. Dessert rainbow fruit. Upon realizing this, Qianyi immediately understood. Zayatauthas is my boyfriend Qianyi, a gourmet hunter. Kobayashi Rindu introduced at her, blush still lingering. Qianyi stepped forward to Qianjiubo Momo, smiled and extended her hand, saying, hello, me name is Qianyi. It's nice to meet you. Akin Momo picked up the teddy bear and stood up. Then surprisingly tore off one of the teddy bear's hands and placed it in Che's hand. Forehead Qianyi didn't understand what this meant. Longden explained, "This is Xiaotao's way of communicating. When she shakes hands with Butch in her arms, it means that she herself has shaken hands with you. It turns out that the bear's name is Butch, using teddy bears to represent themselves. Even the elite 10 of Tatsuki have inhuman thinking." Akin Momo took the bear paw from Chiyo's hand and put it back on the teddy bear before speaking. "If you have anything urgent to take care of, you can do so first. I can wait here for a while, however. The soundproofing here isn't very good, so I might hear some strange noises." "What do you think, Butchai?" Upon hearing this, Longden's face flushed red again, and she glared fiercely at Qianyi. Qianyi felt wronged, as he had no idea that Qianjiubo Momo was in this place. Hums welled. "I smelled the aroma of rainbow fruit as soon as I walked into this villa. Let's get down to business first and cook the rainbow fruit." "I can't wait," Qianyi said, wiping the drool from the corner of her mouth. For this mission commissioned by Johans, Qianyi did not accept any reward, but on the condition that he take 2 rainbow fruits. One rainbow fruit was auctioned off, while the other was kept for personal enjoyment. The rainbow fruit currently placed in Genshin Villa is meant to be enjoyed. This rainbow fruit was delivered by members of IGO's 8th habitat the day before yesterday. Rainbow fruits are extremely rare and priceless. To ensure safety, Johans also sent gourmet hunters to guard the villa. Qianyi enjoys dealing with straightforward people like Johans, who are also considerate and thoughtful in their work. "The rainbow fruit is in the kitchen, just waiting for you to come back so Momo and I can start cooking it." Before that, Momo and I tried making many dishes with similar ingredients to minimize the risk of failure. Kobayashi Rindu said to Chuya, "In fact, there is no such thing as failure when it comes to rainbow fruit. A high-end ingredients. It's quite delicious to just pick up the fruit and eat it directly. The reason for cooking before tasting is to maximize the deliciousness. And eating cooked food is more conducive to improving the cellular level." The risk Kobayashi Rindu is referring to is the inability to bring out the full deliciousness of the rainbow fruit. Upon hearing this, Qianyi couldn't help but laugh and said, "Hashu can go ahead and do it without worry. Even if it's a failure, I'll eat it all. Oh, by the way, this is for you." Qianyi presented the prepared 7-colored glass cup to Kobayashi Rindu. "What a beautiful cup. Where did you get it?" "Oh, I bought it at a kitchenware store I happened to be passing by." "Do you like it?" "Of course I like it." Kobayashi Rindu examined the rainbow glass for a while, then said, "I feel like this glass goes really well with the rainbow fruit." Momoko Akane, who was standing to the side, hugged a teddy bear and imitated the teddy bear's voice, saying gurgle gurgle. "Butch also thinks these utensils are cute. So can we start cooking?" "Xiaoto, let's go to the kitchen. Do you need my help?" "No need, Master. Qianyi can wait here." Genshin and Momoko Akane went to the kitchen soon. An enticing fruity aroma wafted from the kitchen, a scent several times stronger than before. It's obvious that the rainbow fruit has been processed, cut open, to release such a strong aroma. The Kobayashi Genshin and Akin Kubo peach are now ready for cooking. Although it only took half an hour for Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo to enter the kitchen and serve the finished dish, it felt incredibly long for Chie, who was waiting for the food to be ready. Qianyi sat on the sofa in the living room, anxiously looking towards the kitchen, listening carefully to the sounds coming from there, trying to catch any clues about the progress of the cooking. However, apart from the occasional hushed conversations, there was no other sound from the kitchen. He couldn't resist picking up his phone, wanting to distract himself by scrolling through today's food news. Qianyi was distracted by browsing food news. After some time, Kobayashi Rindu brought the finished dish to him. The moment the finished rainbow fruit dish was placed in front of him, he was momentarily lost in thought, forgetting his hunger. The rainbow fruit was made into jelly in 7 colors and filled a colorful glass cup. The entire dish radiated a rainbow of colors from the moment it was served, making it impossible to tell whether the glow came from the jelly itself or the container. Light, cool air continuously rises from the bottom of the colorful glass cup. Suddenly, Qianyi saw fairyland. A rainbow of 7 colors appeared and disappeared in the white mist of the deep mountains. Qianyi's gaze was deeply drawn to the dish, as if he had been transported into a fantastical world. He slowly reached out and gently touched the rim of the glass, feeling the coolness emanating from it at that moment. He felt as if he could touch the life force contained within the jelly. A wonderful feeling that was indescribable. "Genshin, what's this dish called?" Qianyi finally spoke, her voice filled with an undisguised anticipation. Standing to the side, Longden smiled and said, "This dish is called 7-colored glass jelly. The 7-colored glass cup you just gave me is perfect for holding it. I didn't expect it to be so suitable. It feels like this cup was created just for the rainbow fruit ingredient. Now this is not just a dish, it's a work of art, and a dual enjoyment of sight and taste." Qianyi clasped her hands together and said, "With gratitude for all the ingredients in this world. I'm going to dig in." After saying that, Qianyi picked up a spoon and scooped up a spoonful of rainbow jelly. The moment the spoon touched the rainbow jelly, it started to wobble so soft. Scooping up a spoonful feels like scooping up a spoonful of gold. It's incredibly heavy. The aroma continuously enters the nasal cavity, stimulating the taste buds. I can't take it anymore. When you put the rainbow jelly in your mouth, it melts instantly, releasing multiple fruit flavors, as if you're having a fruit feast in your mouth. Each bite offers a different flavor, ranging from sweet to slightly sour, and then to refreshing and delightful, making it an intoxicating experience. It has already changed into more than 7 flavors in the air, as if the sweetness of hundreds of ripe mangoes has been concentrated, and the occasional sourness is incomparable to lemon and passion fruit. Gurgle even after swallowing deep in the throat. There is still an explosive presence. It takes 1 minute for blood from the heart to circulate throughout the body. The feeling was like it would last forever. The taste of the rainbow fruit instantly spread throughout Qianyi's entire body. When Qianyi came to her senses, she found that her clothes on her upper body had been torn apart by her bulging muscles, and a strong electric current surged from deep within her body. Boom! A powerful force from the depths of my consciousness broke through the barrier. The food cells have evolved. Both Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo were witnessing the process of cell evolution for the first time, their eyes wide and fixed on the scene. A system notification sounded in his mind. Ding. Cell level increased, current level 50. Cell evolution allows the cell level to jump directly to level 50, which is a huge improvement. Ha. Qianyi couldn't help but burst into laughter. At this moment, he deeply understood the joy of being a gourmet hunter. They braved hardships to obtain the ingredients, all for this moment. 7-colored glass jelly. Genshin Xiaotao, come and taste it together. This delicious treat must be shared with you. Please try it too, Qianyi invited. The 2 women were so engrossed in the aroma during the process that they couldn't resist it. Upon hearing this, they didn't hesitate to pick up a spoon, scoop up the colorful jelly and put it in their mouths. Both women reacted very strongly, especially Momo Akin. After eating a spoonful of rainbow jelly, her eyes sparkled with hearts, and she kept muttering to herself, "So super cute." When she first met the unfamiliar boy, Momo Akin was still a little reserved. But after taking the first bite, Tesh couldn't stop eating. She no longer cared about her usual cute queen image and savored the rare delicacy with gusto. "Hey, leave some for me too, I've only had 1 bite." Qianyi hurriedly picked up a spoon and joined the 2 women in the eating frenzy. Human satisfaction with food is not just about being full. Once a person tastes a flavor that satisfies their appetite, they relax completely. This is the current state of Qianyi and the other 2. After enjoying the 7-colored glass jelly, the 3 of them looked quite content, still savoring the taste. After a long while, Qianyi reluctantly opened her eyes. Ah, how wonderful. Genshin Peach, stop enjoying yourself and wake up. Qianyi called out to the two women. Kobayashi Rindu and Akinkubo Momo also returned to their normal colors. Momo, you've gotten so used to calling me that already. Butch, do you think I should make him change it? Never mind. I'll grant him permission since he treated me to such a cute dessert. Momo whispered, fiddling with the teddy bear in her hands. I didn't hear Akinkubo Momo's mutterings. She called her Momo only because that's what Rindu called her. Qianyi, isn't this kind of delicious food worthy of being added to the life menu? Kobayashi Rindu asked as he approached Qianyi. Qianyi had considered this problem, but abandoned the idea after only a moment's thought. No. The rainbow fruit is indeed exceptionally delicious. And with your combined culinary skills, the flavor is elevated to another level. It's likely that outside the culinary world, it would be difficult to find a comparable fruit in the human realm. It's worthy of being on our menu, but although Qianyi didn't finish speaking, Longden understood the meaning behind his words. This is because it was a food that Qianyi caught alone. The Genshin was not involved, regardless of what others think in Qianyi's view. Since she has decided that Kobayashi Rindu is her other half, then completing the menu of life alone would lose its meaning. Longden's expression softened instantly, and she took Qianyi's hand. Thank you for always thinking of me. We don't need to use the word thank you between us. If you really want to thank Muir what you like tonight. And then Bouch, they're saying weird things again. I almost forgot that Momoko Akin is still here. Ahem. Zio Tao, I'm so grateful for your help in making this dish. Oh, Butch is thanking me, but he's also calling me Peach. Should I respond to him? Momoko Akin started talking to the teddy bear again, then looked up at Chia and said expressionlessly, next time you come to help, could you and Rindu please not say anything strange? I'm still young and I don't want to learn bad things. After saying that, Momo Akin smiled slyly. Qianyi's lips twitched slightly when he saw that smile. I'm afraid they've already gone astray. She has a cute, lowly-like appearance but hides an elusive cunning within. Qianyi, what should we do with the rest of the rainbow fruit? We only used less than a tenth of it just now. Kobayashi Rindu asked. Kobayashi Rindu and Akinkubo Momo spent several days preparing to cook the rainbow fruit. The two women were quite skilled cooks, with Akinkubo Momo being an expert in desserts. Her dishes were very successful. With no waste of ingredients is this all left. Rainbow fruit, a type of fruit, is difficult to preserve once it is cut open. Even with Igo's most advanced preservation technology, it's impossible to completely prevent the loss of deliciousness. This kind of ingredient should be processed and eaten as soon as possible. The longer it is stored, the greater its value will be. After thinking for a moment, Qianyi decided, let's share it with the other students of Tatsuki Academy. There are several thousand people in Tatsuki. Are you planning to make rainbow juice for them to drink? Momo Akin suddenly blurted out. It's not impossible, but that would be too shabby. By the way, Yukihira seems to live in Tatsuki, right? I remember there's a boarding facility there called Polaris Dormitory. Let's invite them over to try it together, Chie said. Chie takes care of Yukihira Soma as a way of repaying the kindness Yukihira Sayakiro showed her when she first came into this world. Kobayashi Rindu knew this too and smiled and nodded. Momoko Akin had even less right to speak. The rainbow fruit was captured by Chiyo, and she was merely invited by Rindu Kobayashi to help. About half an hour later, Soma Yukihiraho had been invited, and the members of the Polar Star Dormitory entered the villa. Both men and women were captivated by the fruity aroma wafting from the kitchen the moment they stepped into the villa. It smells so good. What's that smell? It smells like fruit. Just smelling it makes my mouth water. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't these Rindu Senpai and Akinkubo Senpai? Soma, you actually know the other two Elite 10. The students from Polar Star Dormitory asked in surprise. Samana, aware of the situation, walked up to Qianyi and asked, Qianyi, I didn't expect to see you here. What brings you all here on the phones? Qianyi only told Chuangjin to come here. Without explaining what he was supposed to do, Qianyi. Upon hearing this name, the only member of the 10 outstanding members of Polar Star Dormitory also stepped forward to Qianyi. So you're the gourmet hunter Che. I've heard about you from the Igo Gourmet News. You're an incredibly powerful gourmet hunter. My name is Ishiki Satoshi, and I'm Yukihira's roommate. It's nice to meet you. Ishiki Satoshi extended his right hand to Che in a friendly manner. Qianyi returned the courtesy, extending his right hand as well and said yes. Thank you for your praise. I remember you are also one of the 10 heroes, right? Yes. Ishiki Satoshi nodded with a smile in his eyes. After shaking hands with Ishiki Satoshi, Che announced to Soma and his group, I called you all here to share with you the ingredients I caught, the rainbow fruit. These words surprised everyone in the Polaris dormitory. They had all heard the rumors about the rainbow fruit, a priceless ingredient, and they never expected that Qianyi would invite them to taste it together. Then it immediately occurred to me that Qianyi was inviting Chuangshan, and he also invited them along at this moment. The members of Polaris dormitory had a different view of Soma. They not only got to know the 2 senior members of the Elite 10, but also a powerful gourmet hunter like Chiyu, of course. Their feelings were more of admiration and gratitude towards Qianyi. The group finished eating the remaining rainbow fruits. Afterwards, Soma challenged Chiyo to a cooking competition. Qianyi refused outright, as he could see that Soma hadn't changed much since he first entered Tatsuki Academy. Soma, the residential training at Tatsuki Academy is about to start. Right. I think you should pass this test first before you talk about challenging me. Ichie said with a smile. Huh, residential training, what's that? Soma looked blank. The members of the Polar Star dormitory were used to Soma's behavior, and then patiently explained things to him. As evening approached, Soma and the others from Polar Star dormitory finally left. Momoko Akin also left early due to other matters, leaving only Che and Rindu Kobayashi in the villa. With the obstacle gone and the rainbow fruit eaten, Qianyi finally revealed his true nature. After a passionate encounter, the 2 lay naked in bed, completely open with each other. Qianyi and Longden chatted about the international food auction that would begin in a few days. Besides the gourmet jellyfish, there are many other great items at this auction. Let's go take a look together. Can I go too? I'm not an IGO member. Family members of members can certainly go. I hope this auction goes smoothly. 3 days later, a staff member from IGO contacted Qianyi. Lord Qianyi, I have been entrusted by Minister John to personally deliver this item to you. Thanks a lot. This is a document bag that resembles an envelope, and there is an IGO stamp at the opening. Qianyi opened it and found a black membership card inside. VIP member of International Culinary Organizations. Holder Qianyi Food ID, 20,025. This is a membership card, a symbol of status, and can also be used as a bank card and credit card. Qianyi carefully put the membership card away. All that's left is to wait for the auction to begin. A few days later, Qianyi Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo appeared in a city in the central region of the human world. This city is second only to the food capital megacity, Share City in terms of its prosperity. Share is because it means to share. The city was named IGO with the intention of sharing food, roughly expressing Yilong's desire to ensure that people around the world are well-fed and clothed. The annual food auction is held here. The 3 of them arrived in Share City from Tokyo ahead of time, waiting for the auction to begin. Che originally planned to attend the auction with Rinden and enjoy some time alone together. But Akin Momo secretly begged Rinden to take her to the auction with her. In the anime Food Wars by Qianyi, Momo Akin is only interested in cute things. So why did she want to join in the fun at this auction? Does she think there will be anything cute at this auction? Sometimes I really don't know what this little girl is thinking. It seems that he can't be described as a little girl, because Momo Akinkubo and Rindu are the same age. While Cha is only 16, an international gourmet auction is about to begin. And in the coming days, you can see heads of state or ministers from other countries in Share City. Time quickly came to the day of the auction, which also happened to be the time when the system tasks refreshed. Unsurprisingly, the mission was triggered this time as well. Food Auction Side Quest. Introduction: the annual International Gourmet Auction is about to begin. This time host, please be a tycoon and bid on what you want. Completion condition: win at least 3 items at the auction. Rewards: gourmet points plus 50, reputation plus 20. Talent, ability, insight. Side quests refer to events that occur outside the main storyline of the anime Food Prisoners. For example, this auction was not mentioned in the anime's storyline. It was an event that Qianyi triggered on his own. Side quests are generally not very difficult, and the rewards are relatively less. But you can get good rewards if you're lucky. This side quest offers a reward of a talent ability. Over the course of more than a year, Qianyi completed nearly 50 tasks and only received the talent reward 4 times, which shows that the probability is extremely low. The heart of the shared city. The auction was being held inside a building shaped like an iron pot. At the entrance to the auction, VIP members from all over the world were swiping their cards to enter. Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo appeared at the entrance of the auction. Sir, please show me your membership card. Qianyi handed the membership card to the staff. The staff member took Qianyi's membership card, skillfully swiped it on the card reader, and a green light lit up, confirming the validity of the membership. Mr. Qianyi, welcome to this auction. I wish you success in acquiring your desired item. The staff member spoke politely, then looked at the 2 women beside Qianyi and added, each VIP member can bring 2 family members. But just in case, you still need to verify their identities. Verifying the identities of accompanying persons is essential to eliminating unregistered individuals and dangerous individuals. After confirming that Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo's identities were correct, the staff let them pass. Qianyi smiled slightly, thanked them politely, and then led Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo into the auction venue. The auction venue was spacious and magnificent, with a dazzling crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling, emitting a soft and enchanting light. Many participants had already gathered inside, and because they came from different regions of the human world, their clothing and appearance varied. As soon as Qianyi stepped inside, Ush ran into Johans, who was coming towards her. Mr. John, you've come too. Once a year, not to be missed. In addition to the confirmed gourmet jellyfish, there are many other interesting items at this auction. Quite a few interesting things. Johans personally led Qianyi and the other 2 towards the auction seating area, saying as they walked, of course, there are plenty of high-quality ingredients, as well as local specialties from member countries. Devil fruits from the Red Earth country, Red Earth continent. This auction even has devil fruits. Qianyi was taken aback. Devil fruit, Mr. John, what's that? Rindu Kobayashi asked curiously. It's a mysterious fruit that only grows on the red line. After eating it, you'll gain different abilities depending on the type of fruit. Johans explained. What's the difference between this and gourmet cells? Kobayashi Rindu asked again, have this time. Qianyi explained to Longden. Gourmet cells have no side effects, but those who eat devil fruits will become abandoned children of the sea, unable to swim for life. In addition, there are other unclear side effects. After hearing Qianyi's explanation, Kobayashi Rindu's eyes showed a hint of surprise. She never imagined that besides food cells, there could be such a magical fruit in the world. Although there may be some side effects, consuming it will at least grant special abilities, allowing one to transcend the realm of ordinary people. Devil fruits are extremely rare on the red line, and putting them here would cause quite a stir. Why would they bring them to this auction? Qianyi asked. Johans continued. This is because the government of the Red Earth country wants to spread the devil fruits around the world through auctions. They hope to expand their influence in this way. As they talked, Qianyi and the others arrived at the seating area of the auction. This is an auction venue that can accommodate tens of thousands of people. A circular seating area surrounded the auction venue, with nearly 1,000 people scattered around the seats. Qianyi led Xiaolin Longden to a seat in the front row. I thought Johans would leave, but to my surprise, he sat down next to Qianyi. I'm attending this auction as a non-staff member. If there's anything suitable later, don't blame me for trying to snatch it from you. Johan said with a rare smile. Mr. John is joking. Apart from the gourmet jellyfish, the other things are dispensable, Qianyi said with a smile. However, if given the chance, it's still worthwhile to photograph the devil fruit, Qianyi added in her mind. With some time before the auction began, Qianyi idly observed the other auction participants around her. 90% of them were unfamiliar faces, but only a few made him stop and take a closer look. This person. Qianyi's gaze lingered on an old man with a wrinkled face and a shaved head. The old man wore glasses, had a hooked nose, thin eyebrows, and was dressed in a white Taoist robe with a gold belt around his waist. He sat in the audience, a samurai sword in his hand and a sharp look in his eyes. The fact that he was able to enter the auction and carry weapons already proved that he was no ordinary person. Johans followed Qianyi's gaze and saw the man sitting. He is a minister sent by the Red Earth Kingdom, and together with 4 others, he forms an organization called the 5 Elders, which controls the entire Red Earth Kingdom. Qianyi was no stranger to the 5 Elders. He brought a devil fruit to the auction this time, didn't he? Qianyi said with a faint smile. That's right. Johans nodded, then turned his gaze to another old man not far from the 5 Elders and said, he is the representative of a remote country. Although it is called a country, it is actually just a village called Ninja Country. The item he brought for auction is a ninja tool. Qianyi followed Johans's gaze and saw another familiar figure. This was also an elderly man dressed in a red ninja outfit, wearing a straw hat, with a large fire character printed on his cape. Qianyi's smile deepened. This auction had gathered so many anime characters. A moment later, the auction room suddenly went dark, and spotlights focused on the auction stage. A mushroom-headed man named Human Mation slowly walked towards the auction stage. Human Mation was dressed very flamboyantly and acted in a very effeminate manner. Although he had shaved his beard cleanly, the beard marks were very obvious under the light. With a simple gesture, Human Mation used the orchid finger, which made some people uncomfortable. But no one dared to say anything. Think about it and you'll understand. Could the person who presides over today's auction be a nobody? That's right, this person, like John Reese, is an executive at IGO. Human Umeda is his name, and he serves as the director of the IGO Secretariat. At the same time, he is Komatsu's boss at the hotel where he works and has a high level of authority at IGO. Because of her effeminate behavior, she was privately called Woman Umeda by others. With his delicate fingers curled into a pinky gesture, Human May cleared his throat and announced in his distinctive voice, distinguished guests, welcome to the annual gourmet auction hosted by IGO. Tonight, a total of 40 precious items will be on display for you. Umeda didn't waste any time. After briefly discussing a few points of attention, he got down to business. The auction for the first item will now begin, the rare bacon potato. A level 6 capture item. This is the latest regenerated ingredient from IGO's first research institute. The starting bid is 1 million yen, and each bid must be at least 100,000 yen. Let's begin. As the auction began, the sound of bidding could be heard everywhere in the venue. 2 or 3 minutes later, the first item was photographed. Congratulations to customer No. 10,888 for winning the bid for the bacon potato for 4.6 million yen. Please pay the balance at the designated location after the auction ends and collect your item. During the auction, real names will not be called out. Members will be identified by their membership card numbers. During the auction, the lights in the audience area are dimmed so that unless you have exceptionally good eyesight, you can't see the faces of the bidders. As is customary at auctions, the items auctioned earlier are nothing special. The real gems are reserved for the last few, of course. This is only compared to other items in the auction. The items here are extremely rare to find on the market. As the bacon and potato were successfully auctioned off, the atmosphere at the auction gradually heated up. In the following time, one after another, precious items or ingredients were presented, and the enthusiasm of the bidders was continuously ignited. The lights remained dim, with only the items on the auction stage gleaming under the spotlight. More than an hour had passed since the auction began, and the 16th item had been auctioned during this time. Qianyi did not bid on any items, but Johans next to her took a fancy to a food storage box and bought it for 8 million yen. Are we just going to wait for the gourmet jellyfish to appear before bidding? Kobayashi Rindu whispered to Che, leaning close to him. The items up for auction were not pleasing to Qianyi's eye, and considering the mission he had just accepted, he decided to bid on 2 items before the gourmet jellyfish appeared. Genshin Zayarata. If you see anything you like in the upcoming auction, let me know and I'll bid for it for you, Qianyi said to the 2 women. Kobayashi Rindu is Qianyi's woman, so it's perfectly normal for him to buy her things. But what is the relationship between Akinkubo Momo and Qianyi? My wife's best friend. Sending a gift to my wife's best friend. Both women simultaneously cast strange glances at Qianyi. Qianyi immediately realized what was going on and explained. Don't misunderstand. I'm just repaying Zayato for helping me cook the rainbow fruit last time. Momoko Akin responded with a curt, "Oh," and then fell silent. Kobayashi Rindu looked at Qianyi with a smile and said, "Don't be so nervous, I won't stop you. But I'll tell you secretly, Zayato is a little rich girl. She doesn't care for ordinary things. Momo Akinkubo has had an amazing intuition and predictive ability regarding the concept of cuteness since childhood, and has an amazing sense of the cuteness of everything in the world. The Toy Children's clothing catalog designs or dessert sketches she selected would become best-selling items in the market. So toy manufacturers, fashion industry, and design industry all came to consult her, and even offered Tao an important position. Momoko Akin's father was a businessman, so her family was not short of money in this world. They were wealthy. I'll take the pictures then. Anyway, it's just to complete the task." The auction continued and Qianyi finally made a bid, winning a jelly frog for 15 million yen. Jelly frogs are incredible frogs whose bodies turn into jelly. It is said that their main food is honey, and they only eat honeys, which is why their bodies have become like this. It is not inherently aggressive, but due to its habitat, it reaches a capture level of 12 afterwards. Qianyi spent more than 50 million yen to bid for 2 more ingredients. After successfully bidding on the 3 ingredients, Qianyi opened the task panel and found that the task was marked, completed and awaiting delivery, which meant that it would not be considered complete until the auction ended. Task complete. Now all you need to do is keep an eye on the 2 things you want. Another hour passed, and finally it was Qianyi's turn to have what she wanted. The auction is nearing its end. We are now auctioning the 36th item, a magical fruit from the Red Line continent. A devil fruit that grants mysterious powers upon consumption. As Yumada finished speaking, the staff slowly pushed a black fruit to the center of the stage. Devil fruits are coveted by many on the Red Line, however. In the world of food fetishists, they are something that is tasteless to eat but a pity to throw away. Those with a knack for gourmet food disdain to eat it, while those without such a knack fear the side effects of consuming it. The inability to swim for the rest of one's life is something many people find unacceptable. However, scarcity drives up the price, and the starting bid for this devil fruit reached 100 million. Surpassing anything before it, the auction begins. Starting price is 100 million yen. and each bid must be at least 5 million yen higher. Before he could finish speaking, someone started raising the price, 130 million. Qianyi was determined to get this devil fruit, and immediately raised his paddle to increase the bid, 130 million. Initially, offers poured in one after another. From 150 million, 160 million, 180 million. The price kept rising, seemingly without any upper limit. When the price exceeded 200 million yen, only Chiyo and one other person were still competing. Qianyi looked in the direction of the opponent's bidding. Due to the dim lighting, he could only see the general outline of the man, who had a long beard and a white cloth wrapped around his head. 300 millions. The bearded man with a cloth covering his head raised the price again. Upon hearing the price, Qianyi hesitated, not counting the rainbow fruit that is about to be auctioned. He only has 1.6 billion yen in savings, which is the money he has earned by taking on missions over the past year. Because most of the time they were just completing system tasks, and their minds weren't on making money. That's why there was this little bit of activity. The main target this time is the gourmet jellyfish. The bidding for a single devil fruit can reach 300 million yen. It's unknown what price the gourmet jellyfish will fetch after the auction. The money may not be enough. Although Kobayashi Rindu is one of the 10 masters and can embezzle Tatsuki's public funds, it is impossible for him to take out several billion yen at once. What should we do? Should we give up on this devil fruit? But Qianyi's intuition told him that this fruit was very important to him. Zyro Tao can help you. Momo Akin's voice suddenly rang in Che's ears. I can lend you my allowance. How much pocket money do you have? Momo Akin tore open the teddy bear's belly and took out a pink cartoon-patterned bank card, saying not much, 3 billion yen. Qianyi's lips twitched a few times. Is this not much? Seeing Qianyi's expression, Qianyi thought that he didn't have enough money and said, if it's not enough, I can ask my family for more. That's enough, that's enough. With Akin Momo's strong support, Chi no longer hesitated. Not wanting to waste time, Qianyi shouted directly, 500 million yen after the price was announced. The bearded man with a cloth over his head finally stopped raising the price, and then stared at Qianyi with a murderous look. Qianyi sensed the killing intent and met the bearded man's gaze. Through the dim light, Qianyi saw the bearded man's dark green pupils. This beard is a bit unusual. The auction continues. Next, it was Qianyi's turn to ask Johans to take the rainbow fruit to the auction. The moment the rainbow fruit was served, it surprised everyone present. Starting at a reserve price of 500 million, the bid was finalized after 10 minutes of intense competition, and was ultimately sold to a president of a member state for 186 billion yen after deducting transaction fees. Qianyi received approximately 1.7 billion yen. The reason for the initial idea of auctioning the rainbow fruit was the concern that there wouldn't be enough funds to buy the desired gourmet jellyfish. With Chiyo herself having 3 billion yen, plus Momo Akin's 3 billion yen, acquiring the gourmet jellyfish for a total of 6 billion yen shouldn't be a big problem. At least that's what Qianyi thinks. As time passed, the auction finally reached its climax. The highlight of the auction has finally been brought up. Here it is, the legendary ingredient, gourmet jellyfish. Qianyi carefully examined the gourmet jellyfish that the staff had brought up. Immediately, he frowned slightly. Contrary to expectations, this is not a complete gourmet jellyfish. The jellyfish had only a few tentacles left, some of which were broken and incomplete. The body was even more horrific, with a large gap missing on the right side, as if it had been bitten off by something. The damaged jellyfish was sealed in a transparent, airtight container awaiting auction. This is the grand finale of this auction. The legendary phantom ingredient gourmet jellyfish. Legend has it that the god of gourmet food Acacia discovered gourmet cells from her. Even we at IGO have no information about it. Its survival habits and everything else are unknown. This ingredient was discovered by chance 200 years ago by a retired gourmet. Although it is partially missing, The gourmet said it does not affect its edibility. Starting bid 1 billion yen. Each bid must be at least 50 million yen. Bidding begins. After Yuman Yumeda finished speaking, bidding erupted one after another. And in less than 5 minutes, the price of the gourmet jellyfish was raised to 3 billion yen. When Johans arrived at the auction, remarked, "The number of people attending this year's auction is more than 4 times that of last year. The auction has been going on for some time now, and the number of participants excluding staff has exceeded 2,000 clearly. More than half of the people were there for the highlight of the auction, the gourmet jellyfish. In just a few minutes, the bidding exceeded 3 billion yen. This has exceeded Qianyi's expectations. Even with Qian Kubo Momo's help, it's not certain that they can still get the shot. I'll offer 3.5 billion yen, 355 billion, 6 billion. Prices continue to rise. Qianyi gritted his teeth, stood up and shouted 5 billion. 5 billion yen, that's an astronomical figure. These words immediately caused an uproar at the auction. 5 billion yen, this figure far exceeded everyone's expectations, even shocking some people who were just there to watch the spectacle. The audience began to discuss and speculate about who this Qianyi was, and how he could have such a grand scheme sitting to the side. Kobayashi Rindu was also taken aback. She hadn't expected Qianyi to suddenly quote such a high price. She knew that Qianyi had spent a lot of money to buy the gourmet jellyfish. Entirely for her sake, the emotion I feel is beyond words. Seeing this, the auctioneer excitedly banged his gavel and loudly announced, 5 billion yen first time, 5 billion yen second time. 5 billion yen at this point. Everyone, including Qianyi himself, believed that the deal was almost certain. However, a sudden voice broke the silence once again. 10 billion yen, everyone's gaze froze instantly, and the scene fell into a moment of deathly silence. Qianyi turned around in surprise and saw a short old man walking in through the entrance of the auction hall. The old man was flanked by dozens of food-loving bodyguards on both sides. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the old man slowly walked into the auction hall, standing where the spotlights would shine. 10 billion yen, I'll take this gourmet jellyfish. Of course, you can continue bidding, I don't mind. The old man spoke while smoking a pipe, and you could see his row of gold teeth as he spoke. John Reese looked at the old man with a pipe in his mouth and said slowly, "This auction has actually alarmed him. The chairman of a company with annual sales of 20 trillion. One of the world's 3 most famous richest men, Kanal Makoya culinary tycoon, is the chairman and founder of Gourmet Delight Company and is currently the richest person in the world in terms of personal wealth. In the storyline of Food Hunters, he spent hundreds of billions of yen to summon gourmet hunters to the Arctic continent to seize the century soup. He is also a gourmet, but his main method is to buy things with money in his eyes. There is nothing in this world that money cannot buy. No one expected that the world's richest man would appear here." After learning the identity of the visitor, Qianyi sighed and tried to calm herself down. "Qianyi, forget it, even without the gourmet cell. We can still be very happy together," Longdon whispered, tugging at Qianyi's sleeve. Qianyi slowly sat down and sighed again. "Although there are other ways to obtain gourmet cells, I am so unwilling to let someone else take them away like this, and I am powerless to do anything about it." Qianyi understood that even if he continued bidding, even if it was 100 billion, the old man would still compete with him to the end. The auction ended there, and Carnell sent a gourmet bodyguard to the auction venue to take over the gourmet jellyfish. Seeing this, Qianyi decided to give up and prepare to think of another way. However, an unexpected event occurred at this moment. Suddenly, the bearded man who had been bidding against Qianyi for the devil fruit stood up and rushed to the auction venue with lightning speed. It immediately extended a pair of aluminum alloy claws, piercing through the bodyguard's body. The atmosphere froze instantly. People gasped and stood up from their seats, creating a moment of chaos. The aluminum alloy claws pierced through the bodyguard's body, splattering blood that splashed onto the surrounding luxurious decorations. making it particularly glaring. The food guard lay dead in a pool of blood, his eyes wide open, unable to close in death. The bearded man snatched the jellyfish and crushed its outer protective membrane. Has really? I plan to get this ingredient through normal means. But it seems that's not going to happen now. If our food society can't get it, you can't get it either. After saying that, the bearded man threw the gourmet jellyfish into the air. In that instant, two metal claws spun rapidly and swung towards the gourmet jellyfish in the air. Like a meat grinder's, it tore the delicious jellyfish into pieces. After destroying the jellyfish, the bearded man also tore off his human skin mask, revealing his true appearance. It has a face that looks exactly like an anteater, and its head is surrounded by fur made of a special material. In the world of food frenzy, only one creature looks like this, Netro, however. What was before them was not Netero. It showed no signs of life and its body was made of steel. That's right. He is a GT robot created by Gourmet Club based on Netero's appearance. GT Robot, short for Gourmet Teleexistence, is a remotely operated robot that can prepare gourmet food. No matter where the GT robot is, members of the Gourmet Club can perform a series of operations at the base. The robot can faithfully transmit information to its operator through various senses, including sight and smell. It possesses strong endurance and considerable attack power, with an error margin of only 1/1000th of a second. No matter where the GT robot is, it can be operated from the base and its vision, smell, and other senses can be faithfully transmitted to the operator. The operator's aura can also be projected through this robot. In other words, the skill of the operator also affects the performance of the GT robot. Only those with formidable strength can fully unleash its potential. GT robots. When did Gourmet Food Society develop such a high-performance robot that can also pass through the IGO security system? John Reese exclaimed in surprise. To enter the auction venue, one must undergo facial recognition, retinal scan, iris scan, fingerprint scan, and vein scan, and the results must be completely identical to the person being scanned to pass. Qianyi stared at the GT robot wreaking havoc in the distance and said, "Isn't it obvious? The real Big Beard was killed by the Gourmet Society a long time ago, and his entire human skin was peeled off and put on the GT robot. That's how they managed to evade IGO's layers of checks. How vicious will that wicked gourmet go?" Kobayashi rindu an akin kubo moma, imagining the scene of Big Beard being skinned alive. Couldn't help but feel a chill. This is the food festival. In order to achieve their goals, they have lost all conscience, Mr. John, please help my family. I will handle the GT robot. After Qianyi finished speaking, he rushed towards the GT robot. While dealing with GT robots is true, there is another purpose behind it. Qianyi suddenly remembered the food points that she had never used. Although the gourmet jellyfish has been reduced to fragments, it still has the possibility of being reborn through the system. While the GT robot was attacking others, Qianyi picked up the remains of the gourmet jellyfish. Hehe, you forced me to take action. If you had obediently handed over the gourmet jellyfish and the devil fruit to me, your IGOs could have gotten a stipend. And I wouldn't have done this. Godot stood in the center of the auction venue and laughed loudly. Godot, a member of the Food Association's 6th branch ingredient preparation team. He is ambitious and willing to betray anyone for credit. Although arrogant, he is exceptionally skilled at piloting GT robots. In the original story, Godot deliberately harmed his companions while trying to obtain the jewel flesh with Toriko and the others. After the mission failed, he was beaten to death by the head chef. This time, he was ordered by the 6th branch leader of the Gourmet Association to seize the gourmet jellyfish at the auction. He had prepared for this plan for a long time, but in the end, it was all for naught. If I can't have it, then no one else can either. This is the consistent style of the food festival. So he stopped pretending, destroyed the delicious jellyfish, and then launched an indiscriminate attack on everyone present. The scene was in complete chaos, with most of the audience fleeing in panic, and only a small number remaining, Hiruzen Sarutobi, as a high-ranking figure in the land of ninja, was dispatched to attend this auction with the aim of building good relations with IGO and other member states. I thought the auction would go smoothly, but who knew this would happen at the end? Hiruzen Sarutobi believes that since they have joined IGO, they should do their part at this time, which will also demonstrate the strength of their country. Then Hiruzen Sarutobi made his move, a ninja from the land of Shinobi, demonstrating the power of his country to everyone. Fire release great flame technique. Sarutobi quickly formed hand seals, then spat out a fierce ball of flame that swept towards the GT robot. Those who haven't left the scene at this moment are no longer ordinary people. Seeing the flames roaring from Hiruzen Sarutobi's mouth, they sensed the astonishing energy contained within them. The GT robots manufactured by Gourmet Club are made of special materials that can withstand temperatures of over 1,000 degrees. Clearly, the flame posed no threat to it. What? It didn't work, Sarutobi was immediately shocked. GT Robot immediately turned its attention to Sarutobi. You old B********, you're asking for it. As soon as he finished speaking, the anteater-like face suddenly parted to the sides, revealing a strange attack system within. It only condensed briefly before unleashing a laser beam that attacked Sarutobi. Sarutobi, facing a high-tech product for the first time, was speechless and stood there dumbfounded for a moment. By the time he tried to dodge, it was too late. Even a ninja of Hiruzen Sarutobi's caliber couldn't withstand a powerful blow from the GT robot. Chakra and gourmet cells are incomparable. If you are killed, it is very difficult to survive. At the critical moment, Qianyi finally made his move. Chopsticks cannon. Qianyi's move was like a god descending to earth. The chopstick cannon collided with the laser, and the energy generated by the two produced a huge explosion. Hiruzen Sarutobi wasn't hit head-on by the laser, but he was blasted away by the force of the impact. Qianyi's speed was astonishing. As Sarutobi was thrown back, another chopstick was swung, slowing down the force of his impact. Are you all right, sir? Qianyi put down her chopsticks and came to Sarutobi's side. Hiruzen Sarutobi was unharmed. He stood up, dusted himself off and looked at Chihiro gratefully, saying, "Thank you for saving me, nice to meet you. I am the gourmet hunter Qianyi. I will definitely visit the land of ninjas when I have the chance. Now leave this place to me, gourmet hunters. Are all the gourmet hunters in IGO this powerful?" Hiruzen Sarutobi couldn't help but exclaim. Qianyi smiled faintly, said nothing more, and leaped to stand in front of the GT robot to confront it. "Before I smash you to pieces, I want to know which member of the Gourmet Club you are." Qianyi asked expressionlessly. "My name is Godot, and where do you come from, kid?" Godot asked with disdain. Godot, oh, it's you. My name is Qianyi, speaking of which I should thank you. If it weren't for you, the gourmet jellyfish would have been bought by that nouveau rich. What, you want to thank me? You should thank me with your life. After Godot finished speaking, the anteater opened its mouth again, and a powerful laser beam shot out from its mouth once more. Snort. Qianyi then waved his hand, and the giant golden chopsticks blocked the laser. The new GT robot researched by the Gourmet Society has a maximum level of around 40. But the operator needs to have that level of skill, and there are corresponding conditions to unleash its full potential. Your operating skills are good, but your own strength is too weak. So this GT robot has become a pile of scrap metal. Qianyi knows the plot and has a very clear understanding of GT robots. These words immediately struck a nerve with Godot. Just as Qianyi said, his greatest contribution to the Gourmet Club was his decent skill in controlling GT robots. Godot himself is very weak, and is at the bottom of the Gourmet Guild. He often regretted that if he had been more capable, he might have already become the branch leader. You be *****D, what do you know? Enraged. Godot manipulates the GT robot to unleash a peeling machine, eating technique. launching a frenzied attack on Qianyi. Qianyi successfully provoked Godot, and while dodging attacks, he looked for an opportunity to strike. Although Godot cannot unleash the full potential of the GT robot, the robot itself has formidable defensive capabilities, making it difficult for Qianyi to destroy it directly with his current strength. The perfect moment is when the GT robot opens its mouth like an anteater's, revealing its internal attack device. As long as you aim at the internal device, you can achieve a one-shot kill. The peeler's attacks were very dense, even while dodging. Qianyi was still accidentally grazed, and a piece of flesh was sliced off her arm. Qianyi immediately used acupressure to numb the pain and continued to provoke Godot, saying, "What is this all the attack you can do as expected? You're just a half-baked amateur who only knows this level of attack." Qianyi's meaning was clear, his third-rate culinary skills, such as peeling machine, posed no threat to him. To kill him, one would need to use a more powerful technique. Provocation is very effective, especially when you know the other party's weaknesses. Godot was further enraged, and the GT robot he was controlling let out a strange cry, opened its mouth again, and focused its most intense laser beam. Qianyi just calculated that the condensation time of a normal laser is about 2 seconds, while a more powerful move would take at least 3 seconds. This time is more than enough. Qianyi quickly threw out the golden chopsticks he had prepared beforehand, aiming them at the GT robot's attack device. Exploding chopsticks. A single golden chopstick pierced the GT robot's mouth, blocking its laser power inside the transmitter as well. Immediately, it exploded along with the power of Qianyi's exploding chopsticks, the enormous energy turning the auction venue upside down and creating a deafening sound. Exploding chopsticks is a cooking technique that concentrates the body's power into a single chopstick. It is a concentrated, single-point burst attack. The attack just now destroyed all the internal devices of the GT robot, including the self-destruct mechanism, which is why it caused a powerful explosion. The auction site was largely destroyed by the explosion, and some people who were close to the source of the blast were also impacted. From the smoke of the explosion, a small robot with multiple legs jumped out. This was the core device of the GT robot. All of GT robot's data is contained in this core device. With this device, Igo can obtain all the information about Gourmet Club's GT robot. Qianyi, who was prepared naturally, wouldn't let it escape. He swung out several chopsticks and accurately fixed the small robot to the ground. With the danger averted, Johans brought Kobayashi Rindu and Akin Kubo Momo to Chia's side. "Qianyi, you're injured, are you all right?" Kobayashi Rinden asked with concern when he saw the large chunk of flesh that had been sliced off Qianyi's arm. Qianyi smiled and said, "It's nothing. I'll recover after a meal, I'm glad you're all right." Johans walked up to the core device of the GT robot fixed to the ground and examined it, saying, "Is this the core device of the latest GT robot from the Gourmet Society? With it, IGO can create an identical robot, Qianyi. You have done another great service for IGO this time." "It was nothing. It's just a pity about the gourmet jellyfish ingredient," Qianyi said, taking out the fragments of the gourmet jellyfish she had just picked up. "This time, the only way to restore it is through the power of the system." The GT robot's attack on the auction caused quite a stir, but fortunately there were few casualties. Apart from the gourmet jellyfish, all the auction's treasures were safe and sound, and the auction's final proceedings were not affected. Qianyi successfully sold the rainbow fruit he had listed, after deducting the ingredients he had purchased and the devil fruit. He earned more than 1,000,000,000 yens. Is this what a devil fruit is? After obtaining the devil fruit, Qianyi held it in his hand and examined it carefully. It was an oval-shaped fruit, similar in shape to a pomelo. The fruit is dark in color and has unique patterns on its surface. Qianyi's fingers gently touched the fruit. He could feel that the patterns on the fruit's surface were as delicate as flowing water. Concealing boundless power, devil fruits can grant power, but they also have side effects. Qianyi dares not try them lightly, and he doesn't even know what this fruit is yet. If you eat that kind of useless fruit, all your power might be gone after the auction ended. Qianyi returned to the hotel with the ingredients and the devil fruit. That night after Kobayashi Rindu had fallen asleep, Senni took out the devil fruit again. Come on. Let's try out the talent ability we just acquired today. Inside. The talent skill obtained after completing this side quest. Insight level, maximum level reached. Introduction, the host's exclusive talent ability allows them to see through everything. Explore the essence of things in details that living beings cannot perceive. And understand people's hearts. Note if the target's strength is greater than the host's. Information will not be obtained, simply put. This is a talent for searching information about others. It's not just limited to living beings. It can also be used with devil fruits like the one before us. Inside, Qianyi silently recited the command in his mind and used it on the devil fruit in front of him. Immediately, a message box appeared on Qianyi's retina. Name space fruit. Basic introduction. Eating the whole fruit will grant you the fruit's basic ability. Creating space. The size of the space created is related to your own strength. After eating it, you will never be able to swim again. Detailed information not yet available. I finally know the name of this devil fruit. It's called the space fruit. What does creating space mean? Is it a two-dimensional space? Or a three-dimensional space? Or a special space that can lead to other places? None of this is clear. The Insight tool only provides this much information. One thing is for sure, whoever eats this devil fruit will be unable to swim. A gourmet hunter who cannot swim will be unable to reach many places and is destined to miss out on many top-quality ingredients. Qianyi wouldn't eat such a devil fruit. She would only consider it after removing the side effect of not being able to swim. In addition, the fragments of gourmet jellyfish collected by Qianyi can be regenerated into complete gourmet jellyfish through the regeneration stone in the system shop. The cost is 500 gourmet points and about a month. After some thought, Qianyi decided on the place he was about to go. Before leaving, Qianyi spent a few days with Kobayashi Rindu. 2 days later, Kobayashi Rindu and Akinkubo Momo left the shared city and returned to Tatsuki. After bidding farewell to the two women, Qianyi traveled alone to the Land of Healing. The Land of Healing is a nation built around the world's #1 natural medicinal tree. The Tree of Healing. This place gathers seriously injured and critically ill patients from all over the world. And it's an ideal place for everyone to seek natural medicine. It is the only purely natural medical institution in the world that uses natural medicines for treatment. This place brings together regeneration masters from all over the world and is also known as the Regeneration Master Paradise. Qianyi's purpose in visiting the healing country was to meet a regeneration master known as Red Yasaku, one of the world's top regeneration masters. Yuzawa and Kyukotsu are old acquaintances. Yuzawa has an eccentric personality, but his regenerative technology and medical skills are unparalleled. His disciple Typing is also a top-tier regeneration master with formidable strength. It took Qianyi a day to reach the Land of Healing from afar. Qianyi could see the enormous, towering Tree of Healing that reached into the clouds. Is that the healing tree? It's magnificent. Qianyi took a deep breath. The air around me has become fresher, completely different from other places. My mind and body have calmed down involuntarily. I'll come here to retire when I'm done with my life. With that thought in mind, Qianyi entered the Land of Healing. As Qianyi stepped through the gate formed by the plants, several blue butterflies landed on him. This must be a healing butterfly. Heal the butterfly, capture level 1. Butterflies have the habit of finding the weak or diseased parts of living things and staying on them. The healing butterflies come in 2 colors, blue and red. Blue butterflies land on relatively mild symptoms, while red butterflies land on severe symptoms. Both types of butterflies will stay in cases of life-threatening serious illness. During disasters such as earthquakes, The healing butterfly also plays a role in searching for survivors. Hence its nickname, emergency butterfly.